5 points against. Thanks for that, Wayne.
Joel Bowden
against Crawford.
Joel Bowden's gone to Crode.
Hawks winning the toss to the left of screen, the Lockett end in the opening term. Lekas going to ground. This is Tuck. What a season he's been having for the Tigers. Working in close with Johnson and Newman, and now they've got a loose man out wide. And he can just about go all the way. Schultz drives to the goal square. Stafford at a stretch. Off the ground, Richo. 25 seconds. The Hawks are fuming, saying it's not a goal, but the all clear is given.
Well, I hope it went the right side of the post, Clinton. But we've got to rewind the video because Chris Newman in the back half, that's where it all started. He was the one who kicked it out wide. And let's have a look at this contentious issue. Stafford pushes out, doesn't quite take the mark. Here comes Richo. And...
Glad you asked for that, Jared. It was a goal.
We'll get a better view.
Goal umpire wouldn't make a mistake from there.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Easy goal. I'll tell you what, I was watching Jared Roughhead follow Richo. Just couldn't keep up. Hasn't got the leg speed. Big match for the kid. Did a great job on Scott Lucas last week. Richo, a different kettle of fish.
Right back down to Chris Newman, though. That was a classic. Tackle, then kick.
Are you happy then with that match-up or not?
Oh, he just couldn't keep up on that occasion. Richo running back towards goal. Roughhead was a good 20, 30 metres behind him.
Vandenberg going to Pettifer. Our umpires wide for sound on Sunday football. Matthew Nichols, Ray Chamberlain and Martin Ellis, rather.
That's where the pace issue becomes, I guess, the question mark why Johnny Hay isn't on Richo, because clearly he's the one with the pace. Stafford, not so quick.
Foley for Simmons. Loose man out wide, Schultz. And he leaves it for Graham.
Got some pace, Schultz, for a big boy.
Against the first game of Zach Dawson there. Schultz slipping. Recovers. Coughlin. Graham. Free kick.
Probably a bit lucky there. The last gamer, because I thought he went to ground, he ducked his head to some degree, but he got away with it.
And the ball to midfield with Simmons. Now Newman. And the delivery is perfect. And Stafford takes the mark.
And Jared, it doesn't matter how quick you are when you get balls like that. There's not a fullback in the competition, Jonathan Hay included. Some people are saying that Jonathan Hay has had an okay year. I've seen parts of games where thought that he may have struggled. Speaking to Jason Dunstall yesterday, he seems to think that Jonathan Hay has had a fairly consistent year at fullback, but as we just said, there's not a player in the league that can stop a ball like that.
No, it was a great pass and good start to the Tigers. If this one goes through, they're off and running, where they left off at three-quarter time last week, or at half-time last week, when they were really playing great footy to take it up to the Bulldogs.
Greg Stafford turns 31 next week. His footballing future is uncertain. What's sure right now is that he's kicking the Tigers' second goal.
And what sort of double would have that been, Jared? Greg Stafford kicked the first goal last week against the Bulldogs, the first again today.
Richo?
No, it was Greg Stafford off the pack last week against the Bulldogs. And the first... Oh, sorry, it's Richo off the ground. What am I? I'm with you.
It's been a long season, isn't it, folks?
I'll tell you what, you did speak about Greg Stafford's future.
I did speak about Greg Stafford.
I reckon he's got to play again for the Tigers. 32 years of age, bloke in the goal square. No, don't start.
You don't put me off. He said it was a point.
Oh, right.
He said it was a point.
Don't believe everything we say.
Hey, for more insightful analysis, folks, stay tuned. We'll get to Stafford's future, Jared, in a moment, but the Tigers are dominating the clearances. Foley this time out in the direction of Simmons. There's the first game of Dawson going to ground. Hyde, he's got Crawford, and he's going to try and play him out wide to be almost a forward decoy to try and take Crawford out of the game. Here's Roughhead.
Great kick.
For Hodge. Matched up by Coughlin as forecast. Now Everett down the middle. Crowd at full stretch. Bowden, his opponent, gets by him well. Delivers towards Dixon.
Oh, what play. I haven't seen Dixon fly like that for years.
He's had a reasonable year at times. He's kicked a couple of bags, 4. I think he kicked 5 there not all that long ago.
Kicked 4 last week, 21 for the year now.
He started deep here and was in the air a long time before he controlled the ball.
Trent Crode's the one that really, for me, the last couple of years, he's gone from a player that everyone thought was just so inconsistent, couldn't really get a kick at Hawthorn, couldn't get a kick at Fremantle, has come back to Hawthorn and been one of their most consistent performers.
And Dixon replies with a Hawthorn goal. Entertaining start.
It is, and you spoke about Hyde on Crawford, Clinton, and what he's trying to do. What they try to do, Shane Crawford would be being tagged by Hyde, so Hyde, basically Crawford goes behind the ball to put an extra number in Hawthorn's defence and then give them the run off half-back. And that's what a lot of players that get tagged do these days.
Yeah, we're just going to do this together, Wayne. Ben Dixon, number 19, first goal for Hawthorn.
I hope that you're not one of those punters who has the first goal of the day sort of bet going, because, boy, there'd be some concern at the money shop when you go to collect.
It was. It was Jared putting me off with that point.
Hawks have got to do better in these centre clearances. We saw them doing a lot of work before the match on it. They got the best ruckman in the game, arguably, Spider Everett.
Well, it's hard for you to comment, being you're an All-Australian selector, so Wayne, you can decide, Everett or Cox, who's your first ruckman in the All-Australian team?
I think first ruck would be Cox, but Everett would be in the side.
From the bounce, here's Graham in his final game. Time to leave it all out there. Kane Johnson for Tuck. High to the wing, and it's well read by Vandenberg. He's got the job on Kane Pettifer, who's kicked 27 goals this year for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think you've got to make the distinction, Clinton, about being the best player versus the bloke who's had the best year. I think a bloke like Spider Everett with a decade of at the top, he's got plenty of credits.
Oh, he's the best. He's the better player for consistency, without a doubt.
Hilton, and he's got the job on Dixon. Gasper to Taylor there in the Hawthorn forward line. Was Hardigan off? He is now. Young put the pressure on. Gasper, quick hands. Hardigan backed himself, did well. Foley, though, still under pressure. Oh, that's great stuff. This will be a goal, and it's well deserved. You're trying to tell me they're playing for draft picks. That is great stuff, sparked by the skipper. It finishes with Hodge.
That is, and Luke Hodge off half-back, kicking a goal. Clinton, you said before the game that Alistair Clarkson sees a lot of Glenn Archer in Luke Hodge. Actually, he's on the ball at the moment. A lot of people say that that's where he should spend a little bit more time rather than off half-back and get a little bit more drive and kick a few more goals, as he did on that occasion.
Well, that was a great piece of leadership by the skipper. Ferocious tackle, good pressure, mopped up by the bloke most people think will be the next skipper. And
Richie Vandenberg, a lot of people have been critical about his season. I think over the last few weeks, he's definitely lifted his game.
Good start to the game, Clinton, with, I guess, Richmond only having half a chance of getting in, and the Hawks really playing for not too much. It's could fell away, but they've gone at it really hard.
I'll get to what Richmond need to do to make the finals in a moment as Johnson delivers to Tuck. Goes long inside the 50. Delidio. Thurgood is his opponent. Clark roving, more tackling. This is Everett. Simmons, Stafford, a creative little kick to Simmons, who's coming through and gives it to Coughlin. Now Pettifer. Spears it to Wall, wide of Richardson, and Ruckhead read it well.
Well, that always happens when a bloke changes his mind as the player puts his foot down to kick.
And Zach Dawson with his first kick in AFL footy, and it's a good one as well as he finds Crawford on the outer side. Down the line, this is another of the Hawks' first-year players, Clinton Young. Dawson, the 10th first-year player for Hawthorn to make his debut this year. Umpire Ellis with the whistle. It'll come back. Moore to take the free kick. Dangerous. Pettifer. Simmons.
It was pretty slippery in that middle part of the ground.
Richo in a pack.
Good punch.
Young. Caught. Hay fumbles. Thurgood brought down. Dawson. Well, he emerged well the first gamer. Good stuff. Hits Miller on the wing. To half forward. Well-weighted ball. Brennan wanted to keep on running. Element of risk about the handball to Smith. Foley with a good tackle. There's a whistle in the back. Tigers free. Advantage play on. Hardigan can run.
Pressure by both sides is good.
Johnson. Downfield free. So it'll be a goal to Stafford. No, it's coming back.
He pushed him as he kicked it, so it does come back to the point of the infringement. But they were a little bit concerned there, the Tiger blokes bringing the ball into the forward line. They looked up and there were 3 Hawks up against Greg Stafford, so that's why the delay.
The Hawks are getting numbers back, as we said before. Shane Crawford being tagged. He's one of those players that is getting back, standing in a hole, and a number of players getting back into that hole.
It was Johnson to Richardson, but Stafford said, look, I'll have a piece of it.
It's amazing when you have so many players around the ball like that, how Stafford can take an uncontested mark. There's the free kick
again.
Pushing the back. That happens about 1 million times every game, and they don't pay it. We're not umpiring bashing today either, Clinton. But it does happen a lot.
They've been good in the first 6 minutes, were they?
They have been great. They were very good last night too.
Stafford. For his second. No. And punched back into play. Head over the football. Caught was Lewis. Tigers hail the cab. Will they get a reward? Well, it's like it's playground stuff. Now there's a whistle.
You dragged it in. The second time you dragged it in.
Well, it all starts. That's a mistake if he dragged it in. The mistake was from Josh Thurgood punching the ball back into.
And it still goes after this. There's the dragging, and that's what he's been pinged for.
And the umpire was in perfect position. He actually ran around the pack, got to the opposite side where the ball was dragged back in. Perfect.
Richie, 1 metre.
I think everybody was sitting around having a cup of tea waiting for someone to blow their whistle.
Hyde will convert with a behind. Well, disappointing miss. So here's the deal, Tiger fans. For Richmond to play in the finals, Brisbane have to lose to St Kilda next week. The Bulldogs have to lose to Collingwood. Melbourne have to lose to Essendon, and Port Adelaide have to lose to Fremantle. If those 4 events happen and the Tigers win both games by a total of around 10 goals for the 2 games here and Geelong next Sunday, then the Tigers will make it. So where there's life,
why didn't you just say they've got no chance at all?
Well, they've got a spirit.
There is a mathematical chance.
There's a mathematical chance.
You need a high tide and a north wind at the same time.
Rough head towards Miller. Can he get boot the ball? He's appealing for it, and I reckon umpire Buckner will say, yeah, why not? Yeah. There's a goal. The Tigers can't believe it.
If he got his boot on it, it was only a lace.
It was a very long decision. It was like Steve Buckner at the cricket pondering the LBW appeal. Let's have another look.
Good kick in, though. It was a good kick to the pressure spot. Rotten bounce for the ball. And we need to slow mo.
Yeah, we might have to slow that down again, to be honest.
Well, we got a sneakometer at box 20. He touched it.
That's a bad decision.
Bad decision.
But you know what? It's the appeal. The appeal got him there.
Yep.
And that was Jared Ruffhead that kicked the ball in. He's running Matthew Richardson down the ground, taking him out of the position that he likes to play in. Be interesting to see whether he can do all that all day, because we know what sort of endurance Richo has got.
Well, the goal umpiring was good in Brisbane last night. There was a tight call that was called the right way, but a tight call here goes the wrong way.
It's almost a bad pad, that one. There he goes again.
This time it might be legitimate for Miller. No, it's touched on the line. Plenty happening. Where's Bill? It's all happening at the Telstra Dome. 14 minutes opening turn, 11 to go. Hawks by a goal. Tigers have got to take care of their equation. They've got to win the football game as Dawson put a nice body on Bowden. Coughlin to full forward. High. Crawford brought down by Coughlin. Delidio starting in the forward line.
Tell you what, this kid has started like a train. Zach Dawson. Got good pace, good left foot.
What's Delidio like in the forward line? He's pushing this one across the face. Now, that was touched into the behind post. It'll be a boundary throw in. Dawson, the 41st pick of the 2003 National Draft, played in the Box Hill Reserves last year where he won the best and fairest. Was a Hawk fan as a kid. Grew up idolising some of the players he's now playing with.
I love the attack on the footy there before. Jared showed great speed. Actually run straight past the player that was going for the ball. Put on a good bump and then got back to that contest. Got very good work rate.
All as well. There's another kid kid. He was one of my favourites at the start of the year. Not so sure about the acting there from Josh Thurgood, but he was hard, he was tough, he was relentless in his running at the start of the year, and he got injured. But you throw a couple of these guys together and put two more years of...
got the same haircut as Nicole Kidman in BMX Bandits.
Right, hadn't really considered that.
Just going back just a while, you plucked one out from 20 years ago, and I'm sure Nick would be grateful for the reference as Crawford fumbles the mark over for a boundary free. Good flick though. Let's get down to Wayne Schwartz.
Well, what's very noticeable, I'm sure you're able to gain a gauge of that on the TV, is that this has been played at finals-like atmosphere. Richmond still have a hope of making the finals, but more importantly, it's been super impressive from Hawthorn. They don't have a lot to play for, but pride, and they're playing as though they want to really get something out of the season. Well done by Alistair Clarkson and motivate the troops with that sort of mindset.
Indeed, thanks Wayne. Good crowd too, up at around 30,000 as Brennan waxes with Clark. He goes hurriedly inside the forward 50 where Schultz marks. Now Gasper got free because his opponent Taylor went to pick up Schultz. So now with the overlap, the Tigers can run. Graham feeding Hilton. 2 bounces. Low ball to Richardson. Great stuff. Great transfer from Richmond.
It was good play because one of the things that you can do is Rory Hilton running down the ground having a bounce. You can often take one too many bounces, the leads dry up. But on that occasion, looked up, perfect lead, perfect kick.
Tigers with 10 inside 50s to just 5, yet they trail by a goal. Richardson has 60 for the year now. From 50, it's a thumping kick. Oh, what a goal that is.
It was a beautiful kick by Matty Richardson.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about the follow-through, Jared.
No, it had a little bit of Woomerbanger on it, but it certainly came back. I think it was the wind.
And that's what I was talking about. You see here, Rory's got a little bit of time. Rather than take that extra bounce, the perfect lead and the kick, can always carry it that one bounce too far on those occasions, Jared.
Well, he got it there and didn't allow the forward to go out of his zone. And there's Richard, just giving that little bit of oomph. I think it was a dance that got it through. Came back beautifully with the strong northwesterly that's outside.
Delidio up onto the wing now.
3 times second in the best and fairest. Richo at punt right. I mentioned earlier he's never won the award. 4th last year. He'd be in the frame for a top 4 finish this year. There's a free kick. Advantage play on Joel Smith. On the lead, and it's a beauty from Dixon.
Pretty good decision, I think, from the hierarchy to push Joel Smith up into the middle with the injury to Sam Mitchell. They probably needed another one, and it's released him and given him a bit of life. And with Josh Thurgood coming back to the half-back line, and today Zachary Dawson, or Zach Dawson, they've got those running players, and I reckon they're a good stock, the Hawks. I reckon they're in another 50-odd games, they're going to be right back up the top of the ladder.
Remember, these two clubs played for the Wooden Spoon last year. Hawthorn winning the game round 21 by just on 4 goals as Dixon kicks his second goal today. He's won another extension to his stay at Glenferrie, winning a 1-year contract and finishing the year on a good note.
Well, with Mark Williams out of the side, it's allowed Ben Dixon to be that key forward, and you saw on that occasion, Joel Smith getting the ball, just puts it to space. And one thing we do know about Ben Dixon is he is a very good leader. He played at full forward a couple of years ago and kicked a number of goals. And geez, isn't that a sight that Hawthorn supporters love? Number 19 kicking goals. They've seen it a lot over the years.
4-1 to 3-1 on this Fox Footy Sunday match at the Telstra Dome, and a perfect bounce in the centre. The umpires are playing for final spots as well, remember. Kane Johnson in front of Young. Good tackle by the young Hawk. Rees for Franklin, ducked into trouble. Did well to get it away. Now Tim Clark, he's a whipper. Leckis, good pressure by Hilton. Boundary throwing.
Swatter said it all, Jared, just a couple of minutes ago when he said the pressure down there is finals like. Definitely not taking it easy, either side.
Ooh. And it could have been out of bounds on the full, but those football gods have decreed that it'll be a Richmond free kick anyway. Another incident off the ball, some holding. You can't go smacking him in the back, said the umpire, and Hilton wins the free.
There, mate. No close up.
Here he is, Mark Graham. Final AFL game. Knew it was time to go after a run at the tan recently with his Tiger teammates, and after 200 metres only he and Wayne Campbell were side by side and he couldn't see his teammates. Miller starting well, feeding it to Young. He's quick as well, breaking down the middle but without the football, and that would be a key ingredient. We'll have a bounce.
Yeah, he bounced and just took his eyes off it, and that's usually good. That's usually the best thing to do, but the ball through that area, it bounces at inconsistent heights, as we just saw there, so a little bit more care required through the new grassed areas.
Tambling on for Hardigan, confirmation there on the graphic, as Rees pops it up into the pocket, playing in front. Dixon, the benefits of playing in front. He's going to line up for his third goal in this opening term.
Going well, the Hawks. And bear in mind, Richmond kicked the first two, and now Hawthorn are lining up for their fifth.
Not sure whether Newman is the right matchup for Dixon. We saw Newman play on Brad Johnson last week when Jono went forward. Was able to take a couple of key marks in the forward line and kick a few goals. Probably not his preferred position, playing on one of the key targets coming in.
Dixon for a perfect start to the game. No good.
Here's some names for you, Wayne. Thurgood, Dawson, Franklin, Taylor, Hodge, Roughead, Lewis, Miller, Young.
It's not a bad list, is it?
9 really young players, all of whom have shown that they've got tremendous talent and vigour this year.
More ill-directed kick to half forward. Here's one of them in Josh Thurgood, 20-year-old.
He's an absolute ripper, this kid. I'm not sure why it took him so long to crack it, but he's going to have a fantastic career.
Tuck, you've got to keep him down, mate.
And the warning to Tuck. You can hear Nick Rees will be the recipient of the free at centre-half back. And his kick's a poor one. Hyde wants to play on. Now Hall about to be mown down from behind like Justin Peckett on Friday night. Didn't see him coming. They're away quickly as you see the replay. Osborne the kick to half forward. Crawford paddling it down for Franklin, who lost his footing. Hilton under enormous pressure. Heads towards the boundary line, and that's ricocheted off a boot out on the full.
Well, even some of the best sometimes, Jared, make the wrong decision. Shane Crawford had to grab that ball rather than try and tuck it.
Campbell to Schultz. Spears the ball to midfield. Great pass. Finds Tuck. Open forward line coming out. Stafford. No support. Osborne. At ground level, Vandenberg slips, wrapped up, great stuff, Stafford, should be rewarded, and is.
It was interesting just down where Wayne Campbell got that free kick. It looked to me as if the boundary umpire and the field umpire didn't really have much idea what had actually happened, and they guessed. Let's have a look at what did happen.
Came off the boot of Campbell, and Campbell got the free. We've got to go to the video replay, don't we?
You just see the body language of the umpires.
He knew it came off a foot, but in the flurry of arms and legs, and black and yellow socks versus brown and yellow socks, who the heck could possibly tell? Richo can't bend that back. It's a behind. Okay, so the field umpiring's good, but we've got problems with the goal and boundary right now there.
We're going a huddle. A huddle here, Hawthorn. Not a huddle, 50, it's a very short huddle. It's only about 25 metres out. And they've got a player loose on centre wing.
Oh, good kick. Clark can go here. Should take off. And Gasper knocked it away from Taylor and Campbell. A couple of veterans there. To Gasper and going wide at full stretch, Simmons. He took that out. Good umpiring there. Boundary umpire working hard. Got there.
Just on that, Jared, on those type of kick-outs, when you do huddle 25 metres out, what it does do is leave a lot of space over the back. And that's exactly what happened on that occasion.
It was the wrong option by Tim Clark, though. He really did have to go longer once the kick had been telegraphed.
Collision course coming up. Maloney just managed to avoid contact as a throw. And it's a Hawthorn free. Loney to take it. His 11th senior game for the year. Going wide into the back pocket. This is Roughhead. Now Rees getting a bit of the footy here. The skipper, Vandenberg. Hay. Back for the running Vandenberg. Good weighted kick. Dixon. It's going to go over the head there. Now Miller in tambling. Look how quick Miller is. Oh, Harry, that's great stuff. He's got his second goal, and the Hawks 2 goals clear.
He's an exciting player. That's one he's got. He definitely kicked that one. We saw him get lucky a little earlier ago. And Richard Tambling, well, he'll learn that you just have to go at the footy a little bit harder than that. Because basically Harry Miller just ran straight past him.
He did. He had the sniff of the big goals in front of him. This is good work by the skipper. And a very dangerous kick in by Ben Dixon. Over the top, which is just bread and butter for a bloke like Harry.
And he's excited with good reason. Another one of those first-year Hawks, the cousin of Daniel Wells, Harry Miller. Kicking his second goal. Simmons palming it down. Hodge, Everett, Smith.
They've got a lot of momentum, the Hawks.
Dixon.
Yeah, we came to the match just thinking that will Richmond be able to recover after the letdown of last week. There's some bad signs at the moment for the Tigers.
And replace your divots, please. He has left one heck of a skid mark on the Telstra Dome surface. A bill from Colo to Ben Dixon this week.
Get a really good idea there how slippery the surface is. I mean, he's taken a chest mark and probably slid a good couple of metres on his knees, which wouldn't normally happen.
Never see it, do you? It's a different surface.
For a 3-goal lead. And Dixon has that many. Up and about are the Hawks, Nick Collin, Campbell Brown, Chance Bateman. They just about got more players in the stands than they do on the field. They only had 25 players to choose from today for their team, Hawthorn. They were lucky Box Hill and the VFL had a bye. Otherwise, well, they would have really struggled to fill 2 teams.
As long as they're your better players, doesn't really matter, Clinton, but it is short on numbers. Look, Newman's had 3 goals kicked on him now last week. Brad Johnson kicked a few, as I said earlier. Maybe it's time for a move.
I'm not sure the selectors could have picked much better side than this one, though. The run they've got in this side, Hawthorn, now is tremendous.
Remember, victory today or next Saturday, and the Hawks lose the right to the priority pick. Which Jason Dunstall on Saturday Central will be concerned about. Tuck driving Tigers deep. Stafford for Hall. And he blazes away and misses, and we should say we're only joking, Jason.
No,
he wants to what?
No, I don't think they need a priority pick, the Hawks. I reckon. Just have a look at the stock they've got here. Yeah. This is a side that in another year or two are going to be right back up there. If they can find someone to replace Spider, they've got Taylor. They need to get another one.
Well, that's the benefit of bottoming out, isn't it? You get the young kids, get games into the young kids, and see who can play and who can't. And as you say, you'd be holding on to all of these young kids. 90 seconds remaining, opening term. Shane Crawford, the Tigers' job on him has been good in this opening term. This will be his 3rd possession.
Wide line fever, Clinton. You should do an under-23 side and match that up as a competition.
Okay.
The Hawks, they wouldn't be far off the mark.
It is Generation Next unfolding here as Osborne tackles Bowden, and it spills to Rees, to Franklin, and Buddy can't quite get it. He's got it now, though. Loney, good sidestep. Lewis, Franklin still going. Coghlan, great tackle. Oh, Franklin ran into a wall with number 24 on his back right there.
Thanks, Shane.
Have another look here. That is a terrific tackle.
Had a good year, Mark Coghlan. Tremendous work for the Tigers. Great to see him back at his best.
Yeah, hasn't missed a game after playing just 7 last year. Franklin again enjoying things. Been a lot to like about this contest early. Final half minute of the first stanza. Crawford and High. Crawford wins this one. Time for the Hawks still. Lekas, can he get around more? Kicks wide, too wide.
Well, the beauty of the Hawks quarter is that a couple of their best players for the year, or three of them in fact, Everett and Crawford and Trent Crowe have had 4, 4 and 3 possessions respectively. So they're getting their drive from a lot of inexperienced blokes, plus Joel Smith, who's had the most possessions.
Stafford shorts it. 3 seconds to go. This is Jackson. Siren might beat him. It will. Run down anyway, and so ends an entertaining opening term at the Dome, and the boys just want to get a little frisky out there. They know that the off-season is fast approaching. A match the Tigers have to win and win well. They trail by 3 goals at quarter time.
Yeah, I think Jared just summed it up. It was an entertaining first quarter, but it wasn't their superstars that are doing the job for them. Harry Miller kicked a couple of goals, also Ben Dixon kicking 3 himself, but Clark, Rees, Joel Smith being an experienced player through the middle of the field, winning plenty of the ball.
Terry Wallace with some work to do. The end of 1. Tigers trailing by 3 goals on Fox Footy Sunday.
The Golden Goals.
Getting no way! He can't stop himself.
The Great Grand. The best highlights of every game from every round. Tonight, join host Clinton Drivers for The Winners, 7:30 local on Fox Footy Channel.
Okay, so you shave in the morning. You go to work. You go to lunch. You go to the gym. You look smooth all day. And just when you're about to go out, you have to shave again. Not anymore. The new chic Quattro Midnight with advanced blade technology of chromium-coated blades and a night black handle. For an incredibly close shave that'll keep you smooth from morning to night. New chic Quattro Midnight. No other razor shaves closer or smoother.
Fox Footy knows it's been a tough season. You've been there.
Taking the big hits,
The big grabs.
the big goals.
But at the end of the day, it's about the end of this season. That's why Tui's New are giving footy fans the chance to win your own end-of-season trip with 3 mates. Simply call or SMS to the numbers on screen your choice of destination. 1 for big barra fishing in Kakadu. 2 for jet boating in New Zealand. Or 3 for skydiving in Cairns.
This is the stuff that legendary moments are made of.
So simply pick your mates, then pick your Tui's New end-of-season trip. With Fox Footy Channel and Tui's New, it's all good.
That's an untidy handball, stolen by Eddie Betts. He loves to kick these, and he has! He can get them from anywhere, Eddie Betts.
Need inspiration for Father's Day? Check out the new Bunnings Warehouse catalogue. Handy Pruner, a sharp $12.95. GMC 14.4-volt cordless drill kit, only $45. A Zito electric chainsaw, just $79. 7-piece outdoor setting, only $299. Aluminium work platform, just $59. Cambridge handy lamp, only $19.98. 11-pocket leather tool belt, just $5.95.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Hello, you're watching Fox Sports News Active.
If you can't wait for the very latest sports news, Digital has got you covered.
The Wallabies are at full strength for tonight's test.
Go boys! Introducing Fox Sports News Active, keeping you on top of results and in-depth sports stories. Just press red. It's your sports news desk at home, available 24/7.
And on day 3 of the test, Australia is firmly in control.
Fox Sports News Active, the ultimate sports news service.
Join us on Tuesday night for 2 players Bob they said could not kick. One was James Manson from Tasmania for sure, and the other, Gareth Andrews from Geelong College.
Grumpy Old Men, Tuesday on Fox Footy Channel.
No, New Zealand, we've got everything you guys have got, just a little bit better. You got your song?
We got ours.
You got haircuts, we got hairstyle. He's wonderful. You take on the best in Australia, we take on the best in the world.
PNG are on fire.
The 2005 AFL International Cup Grand Final between New Zealand and PNG. Wednesday, exclusive to Fox Footy Channel.
Look at
Leicesters 14th, but a lot to like already about this Fox Footy Sunday clash. Quarter time, Hawks 6-2, Tigers 3-2, Dixon 3, Miller 2 for the Hawks. Richardson with a couple for the Tigers. Shane Tuck leading the way with 10 possessions for Richmond. Overall, Tigers 77 touches, the Hawks 74, as we check in at ground level with Wayne Schwass.
Well, you're absolutely right, Clinton. This has been played with great spirit, and that's most pleasing, especially with a side that doesn't have any hope of playing in finals football. The talk of tanking, it's irrelevant. Players play to win, and I think that we're seeing that this afternoon with Hawthorn and Richmond. But more importantly, we mentioned Trent Croden, his importance over the last couple of weeks moving forward. He mightn't have had a lot of the ball himself, but what he does, he opens up space for the likes of Ben Dixon and the small running type of players in Harry Miller, and as well as Richard Taylor, who's another marking option up in that Hawthorn forward line. That's space that they're not often afforded because Trent Croden is dragging his opponent out. Good team play, and look for him to continue his hard work up and around the ground.
Thanks, Wayne. Let's check the scores from the other two matches being played today. Sydney Cricket Ground, Swans and Kangaroos, and at the MCG it's Essendon and Carlton. Replays to follow after we're done with here on Fox Footy, so if you want to treat those matches live, look away now. Dome, it's Hawthorn 6-2, leading the Tigers 3-2. Richardson against Roughhead in the Tiger forward line. Zach Dawson on screen. A good opening quarter for his AFL career, and we're set to go. Hawks to the right of screen in quarter number 2. Hardigan next to Miller. Tigers, remember, were 7-2 after round 9. They ended this match on a 5-game losing run at 9-11. And they watch Spider Everett with the takeaway. Oh, boy, Dixon and his cannon into Schultz. And that hurt him. Tigers a man down. Leckis, high ball to the hot spot. Bowden eyes for the football. Can't hang on to it. Gasper for Bowden. Schultz is still down. Smith. Kick well smothered by Hilton. Smith the second go. Lewis. Everett. They might need the stretcher out there in a moment. And because they're a man down, there had to be someone free, and Leckis in the end can have a shot at goal.
Well, that was just an absolute slide. Look at Dixon just... he lost his footing and the boot was in the air. That is an extraordinary car accident in football terms. Never seen that one before.
No, he went to leap, Dixon. It looked like he went to leap, and he actually slid. Yeah. He was sliding. Gasper was very close. Maybe give him a little bit of nudge. Basically got... sandwiched by 2, and the move has been made on Dixon. Gasper has gone to him.
Another look at it, Jared. As you say, Dixon slips. No free kick was paid. I guess the umpires have never seen something like that to know what they can pay. Whether he's
it's just an accident. That's
it's clearly an accident. But did he stop Schultz from getting to the contest? Maybe it's one they'll have to think about over the summer, should the circumstance arise. Another look as Schultz coming back and just wears it.
That is an incredibly unusual set of circumstances, but obviously this is the major story. Schultz suffering severe damage.
Playing just his 3rd senior game for the year. We know he made the news for the wrong reasons earlier on, but those at Punt Road admired the way he fought back from that and to win his spot in the team here late in the season. And he doesn't want the aid of the stretcher. He'll walk off the ground before Leckis has a shot at goal.
Well, he may come back on, but he may also have some cracked ribs or a strained sternum. It's just extraordinary the way that unfolded. Bottom line is that out of all of that, the Hawks got a man free, and Spider Everett mopped up again, found one. Angelo Leckis, who's also had his own story to tell this year, gets a crack at a goal.
And a chance for a 4-goal lead for Hawthorn, which will be significant. They'll take Schultz straight down to the rooms, and we won't see him again before this quarter, at least. So Leckis now to drive a fairly handy wedge between the two teams here. Early in the second quarter, the kick looks good.
And you can see the Hawthorn players are all gathering around. Leckers kicks that goal. Like you said, Jared, they've got a very handy lead, and now it's really up to Richmond to see what sort of fight that they've got and whether they honestly believe they have got a chance to make the finals, because just the last 5 or 10 minutes you get the feeling that, and you said it before the game, you just get the feeling that they may think this year's all over.
Well, I'd like to see the kid Delidio up into the middle. I know that Terry Wallace has started him at the goal square and wanted to give him a chance, obviously, to show his wares as not just a midfielder, but they've got to change this mix. They're getting belted right now through the middle of the ground. They did well early in the piece, the Tigers, at the clearances, but the Hawks have actually turned it right round.
Simmons knocking it down. Hawks, here's Hodge. Look at the way he kept his feet charging through there. Vandenberg. Low to centre half forward. Franklin held off his man more will and clasped it nicely to the chest. Loney to the hot spot. Taylor the target. One grab, not the second. Miller lurking dangerously. They're hailing the cab. They've got it.
Flag call. In fact, Taylor won't be interested in your thoughts. He looked on the footy as if he just lost his legs in that first contest going for the mark. We'll maybe get another look at it, but as a tall player, young player, he's just going to have to keep his base, because without your base, you become top heavy and easily shifted off the footy.
Yeah, without a doubt about that, Jared. One of the first points you get taught as a key forward is when you go for your marks, you try to keep your feet at all stages, so then you can go for your second and third efforts after that particular concept.
Dixon kicks goal number 4. And that skerrick of a Tiger chance of making the finals has become a sliver.
Ben Dixon really enjoying the fact that Mark Williams is out of this side, being the key forward. This one a little luckier than most, but the umpires, they set a trend at the start of this game that if you were going to drag the ball in and hold it in, they were going to pay a free kick, and they've stuck by that as long as that consistency continues through the whole day.
It is going to be one of the interesting aspects of next year, actually, to see how the Hawthorn forward line unfolds. You've got Mark Williams coming back in. I thought it was a great coaching ploy for 6 or 7 weeks. Got under the guard of most of the other clubs. Did Alison Nicholson. Thank you, umpire. But it really was easily worked out. Here go the Hawks again.
Young towards Taylor. At the back, Miller. Have a go, Harry. How exciting is Harry Miller? He's kicked 3 goals. Dixon has got 4 goals. And the Hawks lead by 6 goals.
And 2 of those goals, Jared, have been over the back of the pack. Now, normally a small crumbing forward gets to the front of the pack. Harry Miller, what he's done is he's read the ball, he's read the flight of the ball quicker than most, realising it's gone over the back. And you see here, he runs straight to the back of the pack. Normally, he would have run to the front, but he's got 2 goals by going to the back. So you would have to say that he run to the right spot.
Oh, no doubt. He's actually just peeled off. Is it Chris Newman? I think it is. A couple of times now. Might be Hardigan. Yeah, he's peeled off Hardigan a couple of times, and it's just exposed him. He went to the goals, Hardigan went to the contest, and he got the goal.
Miller had only kicked 6 goals in his previous 12 matches this season. He's got 3 already. More on the Hawk forward line in a moment, but let's check in with Wayne Schwartz.
Yeah, Jared mentioned that Jay Schultz. It was much like that of a car accident. He got his neck assessed. It wasn't his chest so much. They did some testing on his neck. He's taken a couple of Panadol or pain-killing tablets. Seems to be okay at the moment, and we may see him back in the game at some stage.
That's good news. Thanks, Wayne. Hawks by 6 goals with Leckis going forward. And on the lead, it's Dixon in front of Gaspar. Near the boundary line is Crode, and it's over for a throw. And I was going to ask you talk about the Hawthorn forward line then, Jared, looking at next year. Does Trent Crode become a permanent forward there? If you're going to have Williams and Miller's bobbing up and Franklin's down there and Dixon, is Crode a key forward?
Well, based on the last 8 weeks, I think that's probably where he would figure. But the way footy's going, Clinton, I don't think anybody becomes a key unless you're a goal square player or a ruckman. You know, you got even your midfielders. Chris Judd, all of a sudden they're going to be looking at whether Judd's a forward or a midfielder. Essentially, genetically, he's a midfielder, but he may have to go to the forward line as well.
Tigers need something here. Hawks have got numbers back. Everett throwing his weight around. Roughhead caught by Hyde, holding the ball.
There's the consistency we're after. And like I said, if they're going to do that all day,
let's have a look. Drags it in. He's pushed it out. He's dragged it in. He's in trouble.
That's consistent.
Now, people at home will wonder. They'll say he didn't really have a chance. Well, he had a chance to grab it in,
or knock it out.
Or knock it out.
Yep.
He chose to grab it. That's why it's a free kick.
What I like about the Hawks, Clinton, is they, like the Bulldogs, look like they're developing a side that is just multi-skilled and multifunctional. And Williams is going to probably have 3 different roles himself next year.
Hyde's kick at goal is missing to the left-hand side.
Speaking to Alistair Clarkson yesterday, he did say that Trent Crode and Jared Ruffhead, they were quite surprised with how he has developed in the back line.
Yep.
And he's pretty sure that they'll rotate through there. They won't have a set position as such. They'll spend time forward and back.
Crawford to Dawson.
Go, go, go!
Dawson, a long ball up to the 50, but there is Moore in the way.
Good mark by Moore. Didn't worry about the body of Franklin. Just went for the ball and ended up taking an easy mark.
Everett. Hilton does well. Tigers a chance now. Pettiford towards Richardson. Roughhead. Awkward ball. Offhand. And Dawson does well for Hay. Now Lewis. Good kick. Young has Franklin riding shotgun for him. Gives it to him now. They made him wait. The defence closes. Loney from a tight angle. Centering kick. Tigers should get it. And they do.
Boy, that was great run by Loney. Loney started on the defensive 50. Ended up getting it in the forward pocket.
Bowden away. Very wide kick. Too far. Things unravelling for the boys from Punt Road. 6 unanswered Hawthorn goals, and they have taken control of this match. Everett to the pocket, space to lead for Dixon, an arm held by Gasper. No advantage as Miller tries a party trick.
Harry's going to be an exciting player. He's got some tricks, as you said, but there was the free kick which has set Ben Dixon up for his 5th goal in a half of footy. Now, he's been a forward for a long time. I'm sure he's kicked 5 before in a half, but it would have been too often.
His best AFL year back in 2000 when he kicked 43. Probably most famous for that after the siren winner at the MCG against Carlton. So he can kick pressure goals. This is for number 5, and to take the lead to the better part of 7 goals.
Haven't we seen some great kicks this weekend after the siren or near the siren?
Well, I haven't seen Jeff watch it because I went to bed with 5 minutes to go thinking the result was done.
Dixon kicks his 5th first half goal.
Well, before you have a look at it, I can tell you it was every bit as good as that.
Yes, it's been an exciting weekend of footy, and it's all a prelude to next week's events, and there is going to be some... it's just a pity we couldn't play each match
at the same time?
Almost at the same time, or one like that builds up to another that builds up to the other, because it may be decided. I haven't looked at the draw exactly, but...
Well, it'll come down to the final Sunday, Essendon Melbourne at the MCG, and that'll certainly be for positions. What did you think when you picked up the paper this morning and you saw Melbourne had won?
Well, I heard it on the newspaper, on the radio.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I could not believe when I went to bed, the Bulldogs had all the run. Adam Kearney had just missed a goal that he could have probably kicked, and in my mind the game is over, but they are never over until she's slipped, as we know.
Here's Pettifer for the Tigers. Goalless in this second quarter. Who will stand up for them? Campbell to Tambling. And this is essentially a farewell match for Wayne Campbell as well. Tigers' last game at Geelong next week. And so few seats available for visiting fans. This really is the last chance for the Tigers to see Wayne in person after his illustrious, at the moment, 296-game career. Tambling's career not that long. This is game number 11 for the 18-year-old. He's hitting this one to the goal square. At the back, Franklin slips, concedes.
Tambling is an interesting player. We haven't seen a lot of him this year because of injuries, but remember the opening game of the Wizard Cup, and a kid called Richard Tambling came onto the ground. He took mark of the day, kicked mark of the goal. He kicked goal of the day, or goal of the night, and he just really hasn't got it going yet this year. So plenty to look forward to for the Tigers for next season. Without a doubt, I think he'll have a big pre-season and he'll have a much better year. Still, doesn't get to enough contests just yet. Probably not fit enough because of those injuries he had through the middle of the year.
Joel Bowden told to play on, centres it, dangerous if it comes unstuck, but Simmons stands his ground and wins 50.
Richie, you can't tackle him until I call play on.
Well, you heard Richie Vandermeer say he took off. Martin Ellis says you can't tackle him until I say play on.
Which is a tough call. Martin Ellis is spot on, but it is tough on the players because you've got to go with your instincts.
Well, if that's the case, he would have been on centre wing. How long does it take for you to say play on? He'd taken 3 steps. Maybe not 3. Maybe 2.
Vandenberg still pleading his case.
He's got a fair point there, Richie.
Thanks, Troy.
But doesn't matter. Simmons has a shot at goal.
Described in one of the newspapers last week, Troy Simmons is having a bitterly disappointing season based on the expectations. Do either of you agree?
I wouldn't go that far. I think he's been solid without excelling.
16 goals, 21 coming into this match. Hasn't missed a game for the Tigers. And kicks. One here that trips across the face for a behind. No harm done for Richie in the end, who gets close to Kane Pettifer. Just wrestle on it. Centre half back. Tigers again happy to concede that first one. They sprint back, but the Hawks are a wake-up. Maybe they were watching Fox Footy Sunday's tape of last week's game and how to break down the Tigers from the kicking structure and as a boundary thrower.
Well, they were very good there. They had a mini huddle about 25 metres out and then a bigger huddle right in the centre circle. And that's why Joel Smith got so much space on centre wing.
What do you think about Simmons? We've seen them, I reckon, 12 games this year.
I don't think he's been too bad, to be honest. I think he's competed hard. He's had his quieter games like everyone does, but I wouldn't say he's in their worst.
39 points adrift, but here's a chance for them to run and spark something, and Hyde carrying the football through the midfield. Laying the hand pass off for Jackson. He goes deep, blazing away, and the Hawks will mop up with Roughhead.
And in the end, Terry Wallace will get the highlights tape out and say that's just a dumb kick. Tell me the last time you kicked at 70 metres.
He reads it well, Roughhead.
Crowd. And towards half forward, Bowden knocking it down. Simmons. Out wide, Pettifer, aided by the bounce, will just drift it over the top to Lidio. Very quiet today. Marking here. Feeding the handball off, and it's a chance for Tuck. Close. Good enough. Badly needed goal for the Tigers, and a man who will be right in the frame for the best and fairest at Richmond this year, Shane Tuck. 13 possessions now already. 20 or more possessions in 17 of his 20 games this year, and a good kick there.
No question about that. He's had a terrific year. We heard Terry Wallace speak during the week about his All-Australian chances. Probably not in the same class as a few other on-ballers, including about 4 West Coast players, but had a great year. And I thought I might have heard a couple of Hawthorn supporters even clapping then for old Dad.
Yes. Well, one was there. His name's Michael. He's had a phenomenal year, Shane Tuck. That's no doubt about it.
He was on the Hawthorn rookie list, but was cut at the end of 2002. Went to SA and now doing well at Richmond. That's a good tackle from Jackson. Ball was held in a bounce.
It's a good footy story too.
Yep.
Because it just proves that people develop at different rates, and if you continue to dream and continue to work, well, you can find a way.
All going nowhere in a hurry here.
Time, isn't it? Looks like the move's been made. Looks like they're going to push Campbell deeper into the forward line. Delidio up onto the ball. They just need to change the balance around the Tigers. Getting no run through the middle.
Coughlin frustrated, but that was a clear free to Hodge, who's coming up for his 7th possession. High ball. Time for a specky. Newman to space. Tigers with numbers. Delidio. Well, it's kicked to Richo, who's got a couple of beat. He gets it anyway.
Well, Richie Van Berg was out of his weight division there. He went the maul. He's going to get the free kick, as you see, Clinton, but ended up with a mark. The trouble is, Richo's got no Richo to kick it to.
Can they clone him?
And we got the numbers back to Hawks.
Here's Campbell. So no point blazing away. Although they needed better than that. Hay working with Brennan. Can sing and can run.
He's another one you didn't have on the list, Jared, but shows some promise.
Yep, missed him.
Bowden with the switch, effective for Newman. Good vision, saw Simmons there. He stood his ground well. Dawson, the spoil was fair. Simmons can't believe it. He's hurt.
Shocking handle.
Hall brought down. Tigers still a chance. Coughlin wrapped up by Hodge. Campbell slick to Tuck to Hyde. Back pedals on Miller. Pettifer's about to be mown down. Play on the call. Great stuff. These two teams really working hard. Simmons still at the trainers. High ball to Richo. Oh, great action there.
Well, I watched Richo, and it amazed me how he actually took the mark, because here's a look at Simmons. Probably a bit unlucky not to get the free kick.
Then Pettifer.
Might have been high.
Bit unlucky.
They've both been unlucky not to get free kicks. But Matthew Richardson come from 4 deep and basically run in front of the pack and took an easy mark.
Finish it off, Richo.
Got too close to man on the mark, unfortunately.
He's now got 2 goals too.
Fair to say that even on the back of those free kicks that we just saw for the Tigers, they missed out on a couple. I don't think we're going to see or hear Terry Wallace speculate about umpires crucifying. I think we've gone through that week of umpire turmoil.
Young Dawson doesn't mind dishing it out. He runs straight into Richo after he missed that goal.
Did he?
Give him a little spray.
Do that at your own peril. 32 points, the margin as Osborne takes off. Finds Joel Smith. Now can chip it very wide here or go deep. He goes deep, and it's coming downfield for Everett.
Back in the head there.
Hang on. Right. Everett, I think, will take the free.
Doesn't matter. You've got your arm up. It's not a strike, but it's high. Okay, he's clearly kicked it.
Everett to take it. Tight angle, 8 minutes from half time.
He's usually pretty good at those, Spider. Probably step around on the left foot. Like so.
Good call. Spider gets his first.
Well, for a big player, as we know, and we've spoken about Spider at the start of the game, he will be in the All-Australian side. It's whether he's first ruck or not, but he's a beautiful deliverer of the football, and isn't it funny, all of a sudden now we don't rate ruckmen just on their tap ability, although Matthew Clark was extremely good for Adelaide the other night just on that alone, but Spider Everett's just got so many more tricks to his game, and one of those is his delivery of the football.
He has improved, Clinton. Aaron Sandland's ruck work in the last month has been sensational.
Hit-outs today running Richmond's way 15-9, but as you say, Hawthorn are winning the clearances. The tap not as vital as it once was. Hall, Crawford, Dawson, nearly a throw. Campbell, Thurgood in the way, wrapped up, good tackle, a bounce.
Let him go, I'll play on the man.
It was an amazing comeback game by Matthew Clark, Jared.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you saw it, but his tap work was exceptional. And when you win the ball so easily like that, it does give your on-ballers first chance.
So you would be happy that Matthew Clark is there for the journey?
Nothing against
I think he's a likely replacement, but in saying that, Ben Hudson was in the top 20 in the AFL for clearances, and he's a ruckman.
Ray Hall has not kicked a goal this year. Until now. Good finish after a little bit of ill discipline from the Hawks. Was going to be a bounce, the silly high contact, and Hall converts from long range.
We do know that Ray Hall can kick the ball a long way, and it was a great conversion. You just get the feeling that if the Tigers can get the next goal, they're back in this game.
Here's the contact. Joel Smith to Ray Hall. One of those silly little ones, but the rules are there. Do not touch them high.
Starting to put a little bit more pressure on the Hawks.
Working a bit harder through the middle of the ground.
11-2 to 5-6. Everett to Lewis to Smith. Great breakaway.
He has run 30 metres there.
And he's run too far. And the goal will not count.
Bobby Franklin should wake up to himself and stop appealing when a teammate does the wrong thing. He's in his first year. He should have got the handball, absolutely. But players make decisions and you get it wrong occasionally. The last thing you need is for a bloke to have his hands in the air. What about me?
Camo, now Richardson's going to win a free. That's against Lewis. No one on the mark. Run on, Richo. Cups it from 55 and hooks it.
And they're usually the goals Richo kicks. I saw him miss an easier one just a minute ago. He normally nails those.
Right now the Hawks 11-2. Accuracy in front of goals is...
Once again, Jared, there's the huddle in the middle of the ground.
Jeez, they've got some run, the Hawks. You've got Shane Crawford penetrating from half-back. You've got Joel Smith, once a half-back, All-Australian. That's an ordinary kick, but... Hit it.
Thought that might have been out on the full, and we had perfect view, as did the boundary umpire, mind you.
Do we need 4 boundary umps, Wayne?
Look, the game's so quick. It really is. Players can't play a key position at centre half forward. They can't get from one side of the ground to the other, so very difficult for boundary umpires to keep up with the play.
He was in the right spot there to call for a boundary throw-in on the outer wing.
We'll have a look.
He's behind Franklin here, so it's tough for him to pick that. That's why we need one on either side.
Yeah, I thought that was out in the full. From that shot.
Yeah. And Moore takes the mark. So we're down to about 5 minutes remaining here, second quarter. Tigers still in the frame. Although that cannons into the third row for a boundary throw-in.
That was a good metre out.
Yeah. It's when the ball goes from one end of the ground to the other very quickly. You often see boundary umpires, and look, most of the time they do a pretty good job, but at times they can be a good 40, 50 metres from where the ball goes out.
I think it's part of the umpiring revolution that is coming up. To the goal square, Hay juggles a mark well. Nearly played on and will win 50. Well done by John Hay. And gave the indication that he was going to play on, but similar to a few minutes ago, no play on called. Everett.
Play on!
Crawford.
Now that's a great run from Crawford. He's off the half back. He would have run 100 to get to there.
Good kick by Franklin to Weckes. Gold from here earlier this quarter, and now will line up for his second.
It's just a great example of sides now moving the ball quickly through the middle of the ground, also through half forward when they get it. And clubs and teams haven't got the opportunity to get back and flood as they were at the start of the year. And it's amazing, every year we have this, we have the conversation. I'm sure it'll happen again the start of next year. We'll talk about the flood again, and as the year goes on, it gets forgotten about.
Well, I've seen a lot of flooding in this year, a lot early and a lot late. That's a great goal.
Weckes with his second. and it restores Hawthorn's lead to 37 points.
Well, I think the change that I'm seeing, Wayne, is that clubs are now not letting players like Shane Crawford, who gets belted as a and gets tagged out of it, just go through the motions. They're putting them on the half-back line, and they're using them as architects, using them as players, really just another attacking, driving player. And we saw Shane Crawford get that last goal and set it up on the half-forward line.
More like a slide. What they do is they slide back, help their defenders out, then they run forward, slide forward.
Yeah, what was interesting in the weekend's press was the revelations that I think it was on 3AW, Andrew Demetrio said that the interchange bench is going to be looked at severely, and not the fourth time.
You have been calling for that for a very long time.
Fourth time in this sector.
Everett with the hit out. Tigers track it to centre half back. Jackson, though, is under pressure. Knocked it out. Newman tied up. A bounce. Your ideal world with the bench? Cap it to 20 uses per game.
Oh, something like that.
Yep.
You know, you've got to have provision for blood rule.
Yep.
But I'd like to see coaches put some time into pre-game structures that they have to stick to, and I'd like to see players have to work through fatigue, and I'd like positions. And whilst we've seen some unbelievably exciting football over the last month, I think that we're missing out on key position players one-on-ones.
Here's a chance for a one-on-one. Taylor and Graham, they engage in a wrestle, and it's over for a throw-in.
Don't mean to talk about the game last night in depth, but just to make your point even clearer, a guy by the name of White played the whole game last night, didn't come off the ground, kicks the winning goal. Very important in the context of their finals chances.
Yeah.
Haven't Demon fans been screaming for that for a while? Bowden. Oh, to Tiger St. Yours, and Vandenberg swoops, but his kick is astray.
No closer, become no closer. Wait.
12-2 to 5-7. In the match, the Tigers simply have to win if they are to conjure up a miracle. There's a downfield through, and they want to go on with it.
Free kick. Free kick.
Advantage is paid.
Free kick's gone, Huey.
And the boundary umpire was 100 metres away, had no hope there. He emerges now and calls for a throw-in.
And on cue, there's the perfect example.
Yeah.
I thought Jonathan Hay, he actually wanted to take that ball out. He did take it out, but the boundary umpire wasn't in a position to see.
And again, it's not the boundary umpire's fault.
Not his fault.
It's just the game is so fast.
Exactly.
Especially with a venue like this where you get pristine conditions all year round.
Well, there's a down-the-ground advantage.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, the boundary umpire's not in a position to make the correct decision.
Foley onto it. Hodge traps it in. Does well. Wins a free. And part of the art now is being able to trap the ball in under your opponent and keep it there subtly. Lewis elects to go wide and effectively for Roughhead, who's making Richo chase. To the wing, off hands. Gasper, here's Delidio. Back from whence it came. Stafford had his name all over it.
And another good decision by Brett Delidio, not having a great game through the midfield. We'll need to have a bigger second half if the Tigers are to get back into the game, but had the know-how to look up the ground and see Stafford, who was by himself for quite some time, and the big fella good enough to take a good catch under a little bit of pressure. Good mark.
Zach Dawson on the mark. So we'll follow him with interest if Greg Stafford misses this.
Okay.
And we'll follow him with interest if he hits it.
Kick on its way. Looks good. Yeah, young man didn't say much.
Well, they're self-respecting footballers. You move away if you know you've stuffed it.
Especially when it's Stafford who's kicked the goal. He's got two. Another look at the setup for it. Does Stafford play on next year?
I'd like to see him play on. I think that the Tigers need another year out of him. And I think he's in good enough form and he's a good enough player up forward.
Just gives them another option, doesn't
he? He does. He's important for their structure.
Jared Roughhead coming off the ground. It's been a great... I think he's done a pretty good job on Richo. It's been a great learning curve for him, and I'm sure Alistair will be letting him know exactly what he's doing right and wrong.
So for the final 90 seconds of the half, Hay goes to Richardson and Dawson is with Stafford. As the Tigers get the clearance, can they take some momentum to the change rooms. Tamblin's got a man running forward. He puts it in his direction, and Pettifer is a goal kicker, and they could well get two in a minute. Another look at the clearance.
But down on the boundary, Swatter, you've been had plenty of time to peruse the events. Take us through this goal and tell us what you think the Tigers have to do to get back into it.
Well, let's see how he goes. Well, that's what he's got to do to start with, but more important, Gerard, is the centre clearances. If he can get first use out of that centre square, Richard Tambling doing the right thing by being in front. Momentum, as we've seen in a number of games this year, can turn very quickly, and I must say I've been very impressed with Hawthorn the way they've gone about it. But in saying that, there's so much more room for improvement for Richmond. On the back of Matthew Richardson, Greg Stafford, some of the younger players like Tambling and Delidio can certainly lift in that particular area.
So if you were Terry Wallace, what would you be saying to a couple of individuals at half-time?
I'd be asking for a much better effort, both when we have the ball to make position, but more importantly, and we saw it last week with what they did against the Western Bulldogs, pressure on the opposition creates turnover. You do that, then you attack when you have the ball moving forward.
And Kelvin Moore and Buddy Franklin, Clark and a few others having a bit of a scuffle on centre wing before that ball up.
Our digital subscribers enjoying all of the behind-the-scenes action. The best coverage in football, Fox Footy Active on our digital coverage.
The beauty of that is if you don't like the scuffles, you can
watch the footy. Footy or fighting. We've got them both. Only.
Oh, good hands.
On Fox Footy as the Hawks break clear. 20 seconds to go. And they've got a chance. Vandenberg towards half forward. Osborne's got a man streaking clear. Goes to Clark. And he might have a shot at goal after the siren.
Well, good politics there by Ozzy. Ball was right in the middle of him and Luke Hodge. And he said, I'll take it. That's what you've got to do sometimes. If you just sit back and wait for someone else, there it is. You sit back and wait, you can both muck it up. And he did the right thing and pinpointed a great pass.
And the good thing about Clark, he was one of the ones involved in that scuffle on centre wing. He was involved in that, but able to run down and get this ball uncontested. There is a criticism of him. It is his kicking.
Back him in.
He's 11 goals 6 this year. He's 12 goals 6, and the Hawks get a big one after the halftime siren. And the Hawk players all converge in a hurry. Potency there for things to spill over. There was a little nudge from one of the Tigers on the way through, but there's some good vibes, good body language about this Hawthorn team, and at half-time they enjoy a 31-point lead.
Yeah, not much great body language there from Terry Wallace. I think he's pretty frustrated at the performances of some individuals. He knows that his group have come here mentally underdone. They're not firing like they were last week, and they've been given a lesson in just about every aspect of the game by the Hawks, who are running off, and they'll go in to the smiles of the coach, no doubt.
Trying to win 2 in a row, the Hawks, 31 points in front at half-time.
You want the big name guests?
Harold showed no loyalty.
You want opinion on the big issues?
I don't think any umpire should report anybody on a field ever again.
Want to have your say? Then you want White Line Fever live weeknights 7:30 Eastern.
Performance, you really can get more out of every day.
Have a look at this! He's going to get a goal! Oh, that's one of the more bizarre goals you will ever see!
Now's
Now's the time to buy for Father's Day at Harvey Norman. Buy a no deposit with no repayments and no interest for 18 months. Buy now and go in the draw to win one of 100 sports packs from Rebel Sport. And a chance to win Dad a trip to see Real Madrid play in Spain. So it's buy. No deposit, no repayments and no interest for 18 months. One of the 100 fantastic sports packs from Rebel Sport to be won. And maybe an all expenses paid trip for 2 to Spain to see Real Madrid play. This Father's Day, go Harvey Norman. Go Harvey Norman, go!
Good night. Meet the Bluth family.
You're doing time. I'm doing the time of my life.
Suddenly penniless.
They are going to keep Dad in prison at least until this gets all sorted out.
Equally clueless.
Also, the attorney said that they're going to have to put a halt on the company's expense account.
Totally hilarious.
Interesting. I would have expected that after they're keeping Dad in jail.
For the first time on Australian television, every episode of Arrested Development, weeknights at 8 on the Comedy Channel.
Wednesday on Oz Kicking Around, St Kilda defender Matt Maguire drops in to say g'day. We follow a bunch of kids from the Northern Territory on their journey to the Telstra, and the boys take a look at this season's memorable moments. That's Oz Kicking Around, Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel. Last week on Fox League Teams.
One of the best track ruckmen I've seen play the game.
The system's there to be manipulated.
It is not.
How do you manipulate it? Different posturings, I mean.
It is. It's a fishbowl. There's no doubt about it.
There are players there that seem content, who are tremendously talented. You don't ask for respect, you earn it. Fox League Teams, Thursday on Fox Footy Channel.
To 7 goals, 7, our half-time scoreline on Fox Footy Sunday under the closed roof at the Dome. Ben Dixon with 5 first-half goals, Miller with 3, Richardson and Staffen 2 each for the Tigers, Tuck with 14 possessions, but it's Hawthorn, courtesy of Tim Clark's after the siren goal, leading by 31 points. Clinton Wayne and Gerard with you at half-time. And we spoke early on, it's the two clubs, the future going forward here, Wayne. Right now, the Hawks' future looking very bright indeed.
Oh, no question about that. Gerard brought up a few names. I think it was about 9, Gerard, that you brought up in that first half. Hawthorn have got a very bright future. They've got so many guys. You look at Franklin, Roughhead, the list goes on and on. They're the two keys, I suppose, bigger players that play in key positions. But
there's a list.
They've got some players. You'd have to say Hodge. Hodge is a player that is still young in years, and a lot of people rate him against the very good Chris Judd, but he's had a terrific year and probably leading their best and fairest.
I think one that gets under the guard is Lewis. I reckon Lewis is going to be a terrific midfielder. I've already spoken highly of Thurgood.
Thurgood's another one.
Let's have a look at another list, the keys to winning, which we spoke about earlier. We said the Tigers had to get goals from sources other than Richo. Well, they haven't got that. They've got just 5 other goals across the course of the first half. They needed to make Spider Everett accountable. Probably not doing that. Spider's got 11 touches and giving his ground-level players first use. For Hawthorn, well, the defensive tools had to break even, and you probably tick that. Richo, well, had he kicked straight, he's got 2 goals, 3. Maybe that would have been a cross, but they are making the opponents accountable. And Hodge had to break his tags. Well, a question mark about that. Probably a cross. Coughlin doing his job. Hodge with just 9 possessions to half-time. Let's have a look at some of the Tigers' highlights from the first half. Things started well. Richo goal 25 seconds in. Stafford goal 3 minutes in. They led by 2 goals. And you sense, given the importance of this game for them, that everything was going to be going all right for them, and then Hawthorn found their feet.
No question about that. When you have your key forwards kicking goals, that was the one there that we thought Richo might have kicked a point, but Craig Stafford got on the ball early, Gerard, and It looked like Richmond, the talls for Richmond were going to be too much for the Hawks early.
Well, if you have a look at their two goals that we've seen to date, both were involved Chris Newman, and as the run off the half-back line, I think, has been was the key of those two goals, but they haven't had as much run. That was a weird kick from Richo, the successful one, but it's been Hawthorn that's had all the runs. So clearly for Richmond, they've got to find some runners in this last quarter. Not tragic, but an unusual set of circumstances. The good news is we believe that Jay Schultz is okay. But all the runners for Richmond have got to start getting on their bike again.
And this man here, Brett Delidio, he's a guy that has to live through the middle of the ground. I know we're putting a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, we are.
But he's had a superb year, and if Richmond are to get back into this game, he has to get a lot more of the ball because he uses it so well.
Go back 7 days, the run from Richmond's half-back line was phenomenal. They backed it up through the middle of the ground, and right now, I don't think they got the energy or the mindset to do the hard yards.
They did get a couple of goals late in the second quarter. Stafford climbing high there at the 32-minute mark. He would cap that with a goal to cut the margin to 31 points. And then a good chain straight out of the next centre clearance. Campbell sending it forward. It would end in the hands of Kane Pettifer. He would kick a goal. They'd get back to within 25 points. But then the late goal from Tim Clark making the margin 31 points at half-time. Hawthorn at 13-80. Tigers are 7-7-49. We'll come back, talk more about the Hawks right after this on Fox Footy Sunday.
Wednesday on AFL Love Match, Rebecca Wilson cuts to the nitty-gritty as Essendon superstar Matthew Lloyd tangles with Carlton fullback Luke Livingston.
Do you have sex before going?
It's enough to make you want to break into song.
Being with you gets me that way.
AFL Love Match, Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel.
Fox Footy knows it's been a tough season. You've been there.
Taking the big hits.
The big grabs.
The big goals.
But at the end of the day, it's about the end of this season. That's why Tooheys Neal are giving footy fans the chance to win your own end-of-season trip with 3 mates. Simply call or SMS to the numbers on screen your choice of destination. 1 for big barra fishing in Kakadu. 2 for jet boating in New Zealand. Or 3 for skydiving in Cairns.
This is the stuff that legendary moments are made of.
So simply pick your mates, then pick your Tooheys New end-of-season trip. With Fox Footy Channel and Tooheys New, it's all good.
Toyota's special editions. RAV4 CV Sport has over $3,000 of extras, including alloys, fog lamps, bonnet scoop and spoiler from just $31,940. Toyota's special editions. Added value and genuine savings. Right now at your Toyota dealer.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Hi, you're watching Fox Sports News Active.
If you wake up craving the very latest sports news, Digital has got you covered. Introducing Fox Sports News Active, keeping you on top of the latest highlights and breaking news. Just press red.
Newly promoted Wigan were hammered by rampant Chelsea.
Available at no extra cost, only to Digital customers.
Harry Kewell sealing up the classy finish.
Back of the net. Fox Sports News Active, the ultimate sports news service.
If you could ask Jim Steins one question about his unprecedented journey from Ireland to the AFL Hall of Fame, would you ask him about the journey's highest point or its lowest?
Shocking, you know.
Or would you ask him about the price he paid for a league record 244 consecutive games?
I can't kick a footy with the Kings.
Fox Footy Feature reveals all. An AFL Hall of Fame tribute to Jim Steins, Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel. Ever find yourself reminded of a moment from the good old days? Footy Flashbacks, Thursday on Fox Footy Channel.
13-2 to 7-7. Hawthorn in control at half-time by 31 points. Let's bring in Wayne Schwass to the conversation now. Schwatter, 8 first-year players for the Hawks in action today in their 22. And I tell you what, they're delivering. As Jared said earlier, the outlook is good.
Yeah, look, most definitely. And I guess, look, you run the risk sometimes of putting kids to the slaughter too quickly. But the important thing is now that they've had a number of games underneath their belt, Zach Dawson's another one of these young players who has certainly shown a fair bit, but if you give kids enough time, you give them confidence and you say to them, look, we're going to stick with you, eventually, as Jared said, another 50 games underneath the belts of some of these young kids. And it's a tremendously talented young list too. And look, Jared Ruffhead starting to find his feet across centre-half back there. Good duel with Matthew Richardson. And young Harry Miller, we did the Indigenous All-Stars game earlier this year. The kid was so lacking confidence, he's now played a pivotal role this afternoon. The future looks definitely bright for Hawthorn.
Yeah, they're an exciting group. As we said, they're still well led by Spider and Shane Crawford. They've got Joel Smith as well, and Leckis, I suppose, Ben Dixon. They're the 5 that are going to fall off the list over the next year or 3. But they are getting more and more talent in. They're going to get some good young draft picks again. They won't get the priority pick, I wouldn't expect. There's Joel Smith setting up, and once again he handballs off to a young player, and there's young players everywhere, including Harry. Jared, go Harry, I think we called him earlier. Go Swatter.
Jared also thought that a man there we've just seen on screen who hasn't had a lot of the football today but has been just as important for Matthew Spider Everett, I'll get it right, has been Richard Taylor. He's another one of these young players that's cutting his teeth now at AFL level, but more importantly, he allows Spider to go forward for extended periods and give them a long, high target down the forward line.
Yeah, I think the other point, he's going to take some years to develop, but he's getting a great tutelage, I guess, off Spider Everett. But you've got to put this half-time result into context with Trent Croad having done not a hell of a lot so far, Wayne.
Yeah, look, sorry, Jared. You're spot on. He hasn't had a big influence. He's been very good last week, but I think Wayne said during the call that what he is doing is he's allowing space behind him that Ben Dixon can lead into. So you have your turn each week. It was his turn last week. Maybe it's Ben Dixon's today. He's got 5 till half time.
We've given the thumbs up to the field umpires, but you had one about the boundary umpires earlier. There's been a couple of strange ones, boundary and goal, and this one in particular.
Well, I don't think there's much. I think the umpire actually slipped there. That may have been why he had his eye off the ball. You see him just in the background there, but that clearly is just a poor decision from the umpire.
And if there's 4 boundary umpires, one can be on one side, one can be on the other side, and they can work the decision between them.
Can we get Wayne or Wayne to change their name over the next pre-season?
Well, you were calling him Dwayne for the first half of the year.
We've improved.
We'll take a break. As we go to the break, we're going to check the scores of the other 2 matches, Sydney and Kangaroos at the SCG and Essendon and Carlton at the MCG, the look-away stuff and all that. But just remember, as you have a look at the Carlton score, this man, Wayne Carey, he trained them this week at Optus Oval. He was coaching them. Let's have a look at the scores.
Imagine you sign for a package for your neighbour. A Samsung 101cm LCD TV. To make sure it's undamaged, you get it out. It's stunning. You wonder where your neighbour will put it. It looks terrific. Everyone loves your new Samsung TV. The cinematic picture, the sound. A few days later, your neighbour asks, "Did you sign for a package?" And you ask yourself, "Did I sign for a package?" With a Samsung LCD TV, it's not that hard to imagine.
Lachlan did everything but hold the mark. It's a goal! Oh, a miracle!
Need inspiration for Father's Day? Check out the new Bunnings Warehouse catalogue. 3-piece protection kit, just $9.97. A Zito 450-watt electric hedge trimmer, only $29.99. GMC petrol lawnmower, just $278. Stanley 20-piece screwdriver set, only $29.98. 5-litre pressure spray, just $9.87. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just for beginning.
From only the finest barrels, blended with an aged, full-bodied port that makes Jim Beam Small Batch the perfect balance.
The obsession.
She'll go faster.
The fame. The ladies. The legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Hughes.
Nominated for 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Leonardo DiCaprio in Martin Scorsese's epic.
Marry me. You're too crazy for me.
The Aviator, coming soon, only on Foxtel Box Office.
Last week on The Gospel,
what if they took a measure at the halfway mark of the season, and if the side was, say, on half the 5 games, so if the side hadn't won more than 2.5 games...
What do you reckon if you just stuck to playing then?
The Gospel, Friday on Fox Footy Channel.
Second half, not too far away at the Telstra Dome. More than 30,000 turning out. Good attendance for 12th v 14th, and right now it's 14th Hawthorn. A win and they lose that priority pick. They don't want that though. They want to ensure they avoid the wooden spoon. They're still in that frame. Third quarter underway, and an early scramble and a bounce.
No, he came in and laid a tackle first.
Tigers forward line featuring Stafford, Tambling, Pettiford, Richardson and Campbell as we have a look at their bench, and Jackson on screen. Lakers knocking it away. Delidio to Hyde. Understatement. Tigers have got to start well. Get the first few goals. This would be a good start. Tambling through his hands. Vandenberg for Roughhead. Wide for Everett. Equal leading ball winner now for the Hawks as he goes to Reeves. Pops it up. Tigers in front. Newman can't mark. And it's taken over for a boundary throw in by Clinton Young.
Got some left footers in their side now, the Hawks. Got 5 in total to date, just still perusing.
Lewis, Fergal, Clark and Loney on the bench. Leckers tied up. Hyde. He's got some toe. Look at Franklin though. Chasing hard. Hyde saw him in time and wants to keep on running. Gets it back from Campbell. Great running by Franklin. Got him in the back.
In the back. It's got to be a legal tackle.
In fact, Alistair Clarkson will say there's some good and bad in that one. Both times he didn't run hard, but he actually let him, after he handballed it the first time, he let him get 5 metres away from him, put the brake on and then traced him down and unfortunately gave away the free.
Yeah, correct decision as Bowden goes to Simmons, and I think what you said about good and bad about that passage of play for Buddy, that probably sums up his year from a Hawthorn perspective, but certainly enough good signs going forward.
And for the Tigers, Jared, the run off half back is exactly what set this goal up.
That's where they've been impressive, the Tigers. We know that we've spoken at length about their forward structure, but it's that half back running that has been the key to the Tigers in my view, and the solidity of their back line. We know that Callaway has been an omission which has cost them.
16 goals, 22 on the season for Troy Simmons, who did 35 last year in a Fremantle jumper. And this one drifts across the face.
Well, they've had their chances, the Tides. Matty Richardson missing a couple in the second quarter. Also, Simmons missing a couple.
15 scoring shots apiece. Of that for the Tigers, just one rush behind. So, essentially, they've had the same number of shots at goal. Straight through the hands of Leckers, has support. The skipper, little toe poke to half forward. Tuck will get there for the Tigers. Osborne closing fast. Illegal.
Well, he slipped unfortunately, maybe fortunately for him, because he was going to get poleaxed, and in the finish he got a free kick.
Plays on with the hand passed about. Up to the 50. Oh, Coughlin did all the hard work, just couldn't hang on the turnaround. Roughhead for Everett. Devoid of long options, stabs it to the wing. Vandenberg for Franklin. Dawson. Good poise. Tuck slipping again.
Knock it out,
He knocked it out.
Knock it out.
A bounce now.
Martin, you've both got hold of it.
Another look at Mark Coughlin. Nearly. But not quite. 5 goals the margin. Hawks searching for their 6th win of the year, and significantly 2 in a row. Tigers, though, wanting to end a 5-game losing run, and Hardigan to Richardson over his head, recovers well, running out of room. It'll be a tight angle. Everett closing. He tries the impossible, and that it is.
Well, it wasn't a great move by Jonathan Hay there. He decided to stop and shepherd his particular opponent out. Thought he could have got to the ball before Richo. Saying that, Richo's put it on the full, so it didn't matter too much.
It's going to be a great battle for the Hawthorn best and fairest. They've had half a dozen really consistent players. Also Sam Mitchell, unfortunately, until he got injured, was really consistent.
And Mark Williams with 63 goals.
Crode and Everett.
Yep. Hodge. There's some numbers. There's a loose man inside the 50, and it's Ray Hall who kicked a goal in time on of the second quarter, which was his first for the year, and he can have a shot here for another one. And a chance to make it a 4-goal game, and the Tigers would have had 3 of the last 4 goals, bracketing half-time. Originally out of Woy Woy. Hall's kick is good.
We kicked a beautiful goal in the second quarter, and we've seen Ray Hall play some very good footy in the back line this year. So to be able to have that versatility, go forward and kick goals is very important in today's footy, and he's proven today already that he can do that.
I think a lot of times people at halftime think that the coach goes in and gives them a bake. Well, the bake is very rarely used, and a hell of a lot. I think a lot of people will be disappointed that it isn't used more. But I get the feeling that Terry Wallace might have just raised his voice somewhat at halftime, because he doesn't want a season to be remembered by a couple of poor efforts at the end of the last couple of weeks.
The strength of Hodge there to get the handball away. Simmons, though, sharks it. Coughlin slipping up. Hodge again caught. And pinged.
Now let's see this one. Let's see if Hodgie took him on, because this, I think, is one of the issues in footy. That is a joke.
Roughhead marking well, feeding Crawford.
You've got to be given more time than that. If you put your body in to get the hard ball, and then you look up and you get barreled, you've got to be given more time than that. Prior opportunities changed all of a sudden.
McRae's red hot springs to mind as Delidio, set up Kane Johnson, didn't he? Vandenberg closed on his fellow skipper and will have a bounce.
Was the equivalent there of Vandenberg being pinked?
Yeah, I think the umpires sometimes get confused. The one where players dive on it, Doesn't matter. There's no prior opportunity with that one when players dive on the ball. Doesn't matter. Even if it gets held in by opposition. If you decide to dive, holding the ball. But on that occasion, Hodge is on his feet.
Yeah.
He gets wrapped up very quickly, taken to ground. And I think you've got a very good point, Jared.
Here's Hyde breaking clear. And just setting it up. Pettiford flies. Can't take it. Rees. Read it well. Crawford, Brennan, Vandenberg, Brennan again. Now to the wing for Crows. Bowden playing him well. A good spoil. Campbell, Delidio. Look out, Bowden. Cleverly knocked it on. And he'll get a free. It'll come back.
Yeah, he's been probably the Tigers' best job out. And he's kept Crow to just 4 possessions. And he's had his usual many.
And that's not one of his strengths. He's been a great player. Very, very good player, as he usually is. But if there's a criticism of him at centre-half back,
and the ball's moved quickly to Campbell and now Pettifer.
If there is a criticism of Joel Bowden, it is the fact that when he plays at centre-half back, the opposition player can get a lot of the ball themselves. He creates a lot of drive. What he's been able to do today is create a lot of drive and also keep Crow quiet. 4 possessions.
And now Pettifer can line up his second goal, and the Tigers will have some momentum about them. And they'd have the margin back to 3 straight kicks. An important shot this. Kick 28 for the year. Now 29. Tigers coming back.
And certainly not out of it, Richmond. They've got the firepower and the run and the forward structure to kick goals in a hurry. I guess we question just their mental attitude coming into the match. And I reckon that's what Terry Wallace was talking about at half-time.
There's the veteran smart of Wayne Campbell too, isn't it?
And Wayne Campbell, he's going to go out on top. He's going to go out on his own terms. Yeah. He's had a good year. He's been on and off the bench. Saw him last week have a good game. 14 possessions already today. Finishes it off next week, and he is one player that you can say has retired on his own terms.
He will retire 3 games shy of 300. Taylor, Hodge. Hawks under some pressure here, but breaking away there is Young, and he goes deep. And Bowden, will he win a free here? He should. He does.
Holding on. And I think the next goal, Richmond, we haven't heard too much from their fans that are here at the Dome today, but I thought there was just a flicker, just a murmur after that last goal.
Ray Hall, the big man, getting adventurous. Now Delidio. Here they go.
Calvin more wide.
Richardson crashes a pack. Roughhead caught. Tigers with numbers. Truck to the goal square. Simmons! No! Well done, Hayter conceded behind.
Boy, they've got a spring in their step, the Tigers. And a lot of players on this side of the ground free. Delidio wasn't able to see the 3 players, but get the feeling that they think they're back in this game.
Hawthorn scoreless in 10 minutes of playing time here in the 3rd quarter. That might change, though, because they've got a good setup now. Rees down the line. The kick, though, doesn't reach Crawford. A touch of grace and class from Delidio. And he gives it to Hall. The big man's enjoying things today. Long to the goal square. The calls are there. Oh, Roughhead stolen it from them.
Gee, that was a great mark.
That was a great mark.
That is something else from the 18-year-old former basketballer out of Liam Gafford.
Against Stafford and Simmons. To have the courage to, rather than punch, to go for the mark shows great confidence and poise on the last line. And we'll have another look at it here.
From the side. Getting in front. Now, that kick turned over. Richardson. Tuck on the run. Place. Got it. No. Just missed. He's surprised. He thought he had it.
And that crowd's building, Jared.
Oh, yeah, the next goal. They're going to make a fair noise, I think, the Tiger fans, if they can get the next one. They've had a couple of opportunities. I think they've all been stung a little bit by Terry Wallace because he's a different outfit.
2 goals, 3-0 in this 3rd term as the Hawks break. Now, Rees has got Smith in a stack of space. He gives it to him now. Good build-up. Into the pocket, Young. Did he have his arms chopped? Yes.
his arm out.
Another look. Oh.
That's the rule.
Well, that's not the rule because there was no arm pull then. There was contact with his arm.
Yeah, but that's the chop. You don't pull it.
No. But if you look at that, his arm basically stays upright. He didn't chop it. He hit the arm. He didn't pull it down and/or chop it. I think he's a little bit unlucky to give that one away.
We'll have another look as Clinton Young ponders this kick for the third goal of his career. Tight angle.
That is fluent.
That is great stuff. Steadying goal for the Hawks. Takes the margin back to 22 points.
There's a lot to run up in the delivery of Clinton Young there. He's a very fluent kick. He's a very talented young man, I suspect. And that goal there, Wayne, I think tells a hell of a lot. Let's have a look at the chop. Yeah, good decision, umpire. This is shocking beef from you.
Look.
If that's a free kick, as they've been paid through the year.
Boy, if that's a free kick.
Now look at this though for the runner. This is pure silk.
And I'm sure Swatter will say down on the boundary that most left footers have that fluency in their kicking action.
You would have liked that one, Swatter. He's just not.
He's got to get a park. Hodge. Feeds the little hand pass back. Brennan just gets away. Dawson. That might have been the steadier they really needed. Smith. Confidence building, goes deep. Everett. 1, 2.
I'd love to know when Spider knew he had that mark. Was it when he got his first hand on it? Was it now? Because as soon as he poked it straight up, he knew it was his.
Yeah, without a doubt.
This for 2 in a minute. Spider gets his second and the lead is 28 points.
I'm up to 6 left footers for the Hawks.
Well, there's the value of Spider Everett. He's playing the ruck. He's the leading possession winner for the Hawks. One behind Shane Tuck. The Tigers is at 16 now, but the beauty of this man is he can do that and then go forward and kick your goals.
The Tiger run stymied midway in the third quarter. Simmons the palm down. Foley traps it. Dangerous. Got to get it out. Did. Kane Johnson. Hardigan quick hands, but Hodge was awaiting. Long and direct gives the forwards a chance. Croak is being held.
You're blocking him anyway.
Joel Bowden disagrees.
And that's the value of the long kick in. Joel Bowden was under some pressure. You can see there a little bit of a grab. Not much, but enough for the umpire. They're under pressure. They've been highlighted right throughout the week, and Joel Bowden coming off with the blood injury.
Okay, so the Tigers really have to regroup here because if Croak can goal, the margin's back beyond 5 goals. But Bowden getting some attention, and that momentum that was with Richmond early in this quarter has really swung 180 degrees.
I think that's what generally happens when the spirit and the spark has to come from a bait.
Now Trent Croad, who launched his line of hair care products this week, Gear it's called, with his girlfriend Tanya, and he obviously uses a bit of it himself.
I'm afraid I won't be one of his customers.
I don't think I will be.
No endorsement deals, Trent, coming up with Fox Footy by the sounds of things.
Not unless he's got a skincare product.
He fires from 50 and goes. Three goals in 5 minutes.
Well, he's been well held today, Trent Croad, but as we said before, what he has been able to do, and you can see here the free kick probably was there, and the arm goes back there, hits Joel Bowden in the eye. And that's probably why Joel thought he might have been a bit stiff, because he actually got a little bit of a cut out of that. Got a little nick, but Been well held today, Trent Crowe, but has certainly created a bit of space for his other forwards to work in.
And the challenge has become just a little bit greater for the Tigers. Lewis for Joel Smith. He's having an impact. Look at that kick.
Harry.
Well, Harry probably could have gone to it. He allowed the more senior player, Dixon, the path. Dixon gives it back to Smith. This for 4 goals in a row. No, are behind.
Yeah, young Harry Miller will learn that if you think you can go for the ball, you go for that, and he'll get the protection of Dixon.
Yep.
You see there, Dixon. Harry Miller could have come in and taken an uncontested mark. Dixon would have shepherded for him and called him back onto the ball, but they'll learn from that. I'm sure it'll be on the room for improvement Alistair Clarkson tape during the week.
Simmons wins the free.
Now on the full. Thank you.
Wayne Schweiss at ground level.
Yeah, Joel Bowden came off with that nick to the eye. They taped it up, but that's been ripped off. He's headed straight down in the room. Should suspect that he's going to get a stitch or two pulling that, and he'll come back.
And Swain, Hawks running out of defence. Crawford to Hay to Clark. Oh, that was close, but Leckis was there. Now Crawford. Sweeping handball for Brennan. And Franklin not short of confidence. Plays on out of bounds.
He wasn't there as much.
That was a great run, though, wasn't it?
Well, he doesn't mind taking them on.
And that's his beauty. Got to make sure it's his strength, not his weakness. And Shane Crawford, once again, he's going to be tough to stop off that half-back line over the next year or two. No, I'm not sure how long he's going to play for, but he's got surely a few more years off the half-back line.
30 years of age right now as Leckis delivers to Franklin, and he's off. Keep going, buddy. The freakish goal! Generation Next on display for Hawthorn right there. Oh, Buddy will be talking about that all summer.
He will, and it was only 30 seconds before he tried to do the same thing on the centre wing. As soon as he got that ball, he was off. He had the confidence to run. Had another Hawthorn player coming in there to shepherd, but really didn't worry about that. He had the full confidence. What was one of the good things about that particular bit of play? He didn't go for the check side or the banana kick. He had the confidence to kick the drop punt on the wrong side for left footer and still put it through the middle.
Up to 7. Added Buddy. 7 so far. I think there's one more.
We were talking 8 minutes ago. Tigers had all the momentum and this was game on. Right now it's the equal biggest lead of the afternoon, 41 points. 4 goals in 8 minutes. And the Hawks are exciting their supporters. They're at the MCG to finish the home and away season next Saturday against the Swans. Lewis kicks hurriedly. Jackson patrolling things in the back half. Now Thurgood in front of Hall. Good contest. And 2 country kicks. Thurgood lost it.
Got him.
Johnson. Now Hall. Richo. 68. Gives the roof a nudge.
Spider.
Oh, Simmons. Good stretch.
Well, he's been stiff. He's had 3 goes at it in the fourth 20 over the last 10 minutes, and this one finally stuck.
It was a good stretch. It was a wobbly punt by Richo. Not sure what he was going for. I think it torped. But one of those balls that really is very hard to judge. And you can see how hard Spider effort being that far off. Not his fault, just purely the flight of the ball. Big Simmons at the back of the pack. It was a fantastic stretch.
Needs to convert. 2 behinds his return today. But directly in front, 30 metres out. It should be a goal for Richmond. They need a steadier, and Simmons provides it.
And to say they needed that, Jared, would be a very big understatement.
Yeah, they were desperate for another one, the Tigers. Hawthorn have been the most impressive side here by a long way. Inaccuracy hasn't helped Richmond at 10-10 versus 17-3. And, well, there's a young supporter, I used to walk away saying we weren't that far off, it was only inaccuracy. Same amount of scoring shots. But it hasn't quite worked that way all the time.
The margin 35 points. We are in time on third quarter, 7 minutes remaining. Hawthorn trying to win at this ground for the first time this year. They've lost all 4 starts. Just 1 win from 9 matches over the last 2 years. Tigers with the centre clearance. Delidio in the target of Richardson, and it skittles past him. But he wraps up Roughhead in a good tackle. Osborne plays to the boundary line and finds it.
Well, I think they're now building a side, Quinton, that can win here. They've got so much run in this group alone, let alone players that they've got injured. And I'm not sure whether they would replace too many of these. But a lot of the sort of slower, bulkier types that they've had over, I guess, the last generation of players aren't here. So this is an athletic group.
Dawson to Lewis, the lefty.
8.
To the wing. Newman. Dangerous. Hardigan. Coughlin, boundary throw in. Must have had some fun today, Jerry. An assignment.
Well, I've got 8. I've just got 1 more to check on. That'll be phenomenal if you have 9 in the team.
Here's Tuck. For Delidio. Richardson in front. Ball clears, he and Roughhead boundary throwing. In the Tigers' attacking zone. If they can conjure up another one here or soon, they'll still be in touch at three-quarter time, because this is the place where you can kick goals in a hurry. Crowded area. Tambling. Johnson. Campbell. He's always creative. Oh, look at that.
This will be his 10th possession for the quarter. Delidio has really returned to some form.
He has, and he was one guy that we said that if he could lift at half-time, the Tigers would get back into this. Hasn't quite worked out that way, but a great effort. And it tells you a lot about a footballer that can go in at half-time not having the best of games and then come out and have a quarter like this. Says a lot about maybe the NAB rising star of 2005.
Keep the pressure on him, Wayne. Delidio's kick at goal is perfect. 2 in a row for the Tigers. Is he your pick, Wayne?
If I was very hard, I think Mundy has had a terrific year in Perth. You don't often get to see him play every week. We've got to see him play a lot. Doesn't get spoken about a lot in Melbourne. But he's one guy that has played every single game of the year.
Some of the other nominees, the likes of Brock McLean and Lance Franklin.
I think Delidio is definitely in front. I think Griffin's had a good year, and David Mundy, they would be the guys that stand out in my eyes. Kate Simpson's been another one for Charlton that has really stood up over the last 6 or so weeks.
And the presentation of the NAB Rising Star coming soon, live and exclusive to Fox Footy. As the Tigers break clear, Simmons getting the hand pass out. Paul shrugs aside Dawson. This for 3 in a row. Here they come. Ray Hall's kicked 3 goals today. Black and yellow delirium around the Telstra Dome. Suddenly it's game on again.
Well, it's come in fits and starts. The Tigers, can they continue the momentum? They need to just get 2 or 3 more goals closer before, I think, the whole team, there'll be doubters in this team. They get another 2 goals here, all of a sudden everybody thinks that they can win, and the run just multiplies.
And if Troy Simmons had any critics before this game, I think he's proven today that he's a player of the future for the Tigers. We know he's not a young man, but he's got a lot to offer this football club.
Yeah, I think he's a ruckman. Terry's had him playing at centre-half forward, and he can play that role. But essentially, he's a ruckman. Here goes Joel Smith, though.
On the counter-attack, the Hawks. Now Taylor from 45. To the right-hand side with just his first kick of the afternoon.
I just want to check Taylor, because I haven't seen him kick the ball too often in recent times. And I reckon I've got 8, Swatter. You reckon you've got 9 left footers for Hawthorn?
Yeah, I think there's 9, Gerard, and we might just run through a few of those at three-quarter time when we've got a bit more time up our sleeve.
Okay.
Now, Joel Bowden just got a talking to from the umpire. Wasn't happy that he didn't get a free kick, and the umpire gave him a little talking to.
Tuck, well-weighted ball for Hilton. Now he's being held up there by Thurgood. That's as close as you can get without it being paid. Hilton now squares it up. The retiring Mark Graham. Kicking to centre half forward. Over the head of Simmons. Hawthorn to run onto it. Osborne about to be besieged.
Right, Osborne.
Did very well to Hodge. The bounce important here. Miller. Trapped it well. Everett. Loney. Gone. Ray Hall having a big half. Pettifer. Goes deep.
Yeah, good body work, got away with it. Little nudge forward for Richo.
Oh, Roughhead kept it in. Stafford swings it around the body. Oh, has it been marked? Hilton's kicked a remarkable goal. How on earth did that happen? Stafford can't believe it. The Tigers have kicked 4 goals in 7 glorious minutes. When we've got a 3-goal game.
And as we watch this ball come into the forward line, get a replay of it in a minute. Richo wasn't the best option here. It was 2-on-1, but it was Roughhead that decided to keep the ball in. Didn't want to get pinged. Stafford, he thought that might have been the goal. Probably just a little bit of sloppy guarding the mark by the Hawthorn players to allow him to kick that one.
And clever play from Hilton.
Without a doubt, here come the Tigers.
Just inexperience all round there for Hawthorn, but I'll learn from it.
6 goals this quarter for Richmond. They might not be done with yet. Everett, though, standing tall. Tigers the footy. Pettifer to Simmons. Hawks should mop up. Crawford drifts it wide to the wing. Good kick. Everett the mark, he's got a man on at half forward, and the ball, the men on the ground, it's Hodge. He lines it up, goes long, Dixon and Gasper, and it's through for a behind. And the matchup, Gasper to Dixon for this second half has been an important one as well after he kicked 5 first half goals.
It has, and it was one that we thought could have happened a little bit quicker. The fact that he ended up with 5 in the first half.
Oh, good kick. Newman. Now he's trying to target Tuck, and he's got him. That's a great kick as well. What's Tuck going to do? On the run from 50 to the goal square. Stafford climbing high. Off hands, one behind. Oh, another Fox Footy Sunday beauty for you. We'll finish the home and away season back in next week for Carlton and the Kangaroos from 2 o'clock Eastern time.
You coaching the Blues this week, Wayne?
There was some talk that Carlton might have asked us if he can't be with us, but in the coach's box next week. That won't be happening.
No, I won't be in the coach's box. I'll be up here with you too.
Like Osborne's game today, I think he's really had a good game.
Kicks
solid.
To the wing here. Young. Throwing.
Been a good fight back now for the Tigers. It was going to look as if it was just a little bit of facade after the first 5 minutes, and then Hawthorn came back, but they've fought back really well in this last 10 minutes. The video's been a major part of it.
Hardigan slipping, stumbling, getting the handball to Hyde, who's caught, not high. Looked like it was high.
It was high. That was probably just not in a great position, didn't pick it up.
Put your head down, he said.
Avoid that swinging up.
And all of a sudden it's the young players of the Tigers that are having a bit of an influence on this game.
I'd be surprised if Terry Wallace cut to the bone again over summer.
Gasper. Now Graham. Goes to Coughlin, closing Everett.
Good mark.
And it's paid. Coughlin not aware of it.
Had control! Had control!
He did have control. He stood firm. You could hear Spider's thunderous footsteps.
Back around! That'll do ya!
We've got Hardigan on centre wing, but he's missed him.
And big hooves closing in. Coughlin to half forward. Taylor and Richardson. Embrace. Bounce. Closing 2 minutes of the third quarter.
It'll be a brave decision, but I reckon the Tigers have got to just bite the bullet and say this group isn't good enough to take us all the way. We need to maybe just cull, go young again.
At the end of last year, they released 1,019 games of experience. Richardson.
It's against Zach Wilson.
Wins a free.
For the Shepherd.
Well, this is a very big kick.
And that's one free kick. Talk about chopping of the arms and that type of thing coming into the forward line. That is one of the free. Not so sure about that. Did he have eyes? He had eyes just for Matthew Richardson, not the ball. That's why it's a free kick. That could be paid a little bit more, that one.
Richardson kicks his third goal. 2 goals, the difference.
Well, there's a real challenge now for the half a dozen or so senior players that are in the Hawthorn side. Not a lot of experience out there, and you can just see in the back half that a few of the inexperienced Hawthorn players are struggling just to keep cool, just to keep it settled. And I don't think it'd be a bad move to get Trent Crowe down there right now. Push some experienced players back down there. Even Hodge down to there. Just to settle down and just almost hold the hand, if you like, of a couple of the inexperienced players, because they're under siege. If they get it out of the centre and get the ball into their forward line, that's the best option. But I reckon it's time just to hold sway a bit.
It's a long quarter, 33 minutes have elapsed, 1:14 to go. Some tired bodies out there looking for a break. Foley to Coughlin. Tigers get the break away. Roughhead under pressure. The underground handball to Dawson was good. Dawson now feeling some pressure. Kicking to Vandenberg. Final minute.
Got to take it in the hands of Sprint.
Goal. Cleaned up Foley, who bounces to his feet. Tough kid. Tigers rebound. Hall. He is having some sort of quarter, the big fella. Look at him go. Drives it long. Hawks have got numbers, but the Tigers have got a chance. Roughhead told to play on. Dying seconds. Hodge will mark on half back. 2 goals in it. A goal either way here would be pivotal. Crowed at full stretch. He hasn't taken it. He's planning it. Tackle him. They do. This has had everything.
You have a look here.
Oh, Foley did well to bounce up after that. Only 19 years of age, and Crowe didn't mark that.
That's for it. I think we're going to get a mention of foreign figure.
Could he be in trouble?
Don't.
Could he be in trouble?
No.
3/4 time at the Telstra Dome, and the Tigers have got 1 quarter left to try and keep that mathematical hope alive of playing in September. They were 41 points down at the start of time on. At 3/4 time, they trailed by just 12.
And Brett Delidio and also Troy Simmons, I think, are the 2 players for the Tigers that can definitely take a bow for the reason why they've got back into this game. Add Ray Hall to that, Jared, and that's exactly why this game has turned into a crackerjack.
Monday on the couch. When 3 great footy minds get together, one thing is guaranteed. Opinion.
That was a pathetic performance on Saturday. Pathetic.
Analysis.
I think they've got Chris Connolly in the gun at the present time.
Great guests.
Makes me embarrassed with that footage.
On the couch. Monday, 8:30 Eastern. Live and exclusive. At HSBC, we're like the teams we sponsor. We're multi-skilled. We compete with big players around Australia and around the world. With a full range of banking products to get you over the line. That's why we're the world's local bank.
Centre half forward with the kick. Oh! Massive climb the time to buy for Father's Day at Harvey Norman. Spend $500 or more and buy a no deposit with no repayments and no interest for 18 months. He'll love this Zen 20-gig MP3 player, also available in white, just $399. Everjaw 4-burner barbecue stainless steel hood, a beauty at $699. Super sharp Philips 26-inch widescreen LCD TV, $1999. Great no deposit with no repayments, interest-free terms and great prizes. This Father's Day, go Harvey Norman.
We're here in Melbourne to relive arguably the greatest moment in grand final history.
Unbelievable moment.
And to help us, we have Mr. Wayne Harms. All right, it's 1979. It actually looks like the Pies are going to win a flag. That is, until Harmsy here comes to the rescue. You're going to come running in, slide along there, it's going to be wicked. Yeah, we like it too.
Goal square! Harmsy, goal square! He does it to Sheldon! Goal square! Yes!
He's got power and he's got speed. I tell you, I reckon I'm right about this guy, mate. He's something else.
When I got him hurt, I come in for the kill.
He shows that he's right up there amongst the top super middleweights in the world.
A rematch with Kessler starts by getting in the ring with a man they call the Snake.
Ain't no one gonna give me a chance. He wants to kill me.
Mundine v. Matumla, live September 7, 7 p.m. Call to book now. Foxtel Digital Press box office from September 5.
Already this year, Fox Footy Channel's exclusive programming has brought you the AFL's most comprehensive coverage.
As good as anything that we've played in the last 4 years.
Now, we're going up a gear.
I reckon they can smell the final.
This final series, stay tuned for breaking news on White Line Fever, respected opinion from On the Couch, and open forum for your calls on Fox League teams.
I think you made a very valid point.
Plus, game day analysis on Saturday Central and the weekend's ultimate wrap on The Winners. It's Central viewing this September on Fox Footy Channel, where AFL is everything.
40 years of age right now as Lekis delivers to Franklin and he's off. Keep going, buddy. The freakish goal! Oh, an instant classic from Lance Buddy Franklin, but it was the Tiger fans dancing by the end of the third stanza, closing to within 12 points, courtesy of the last 5 goals of the quarter. Dixon goalless in the third term. He's got 5. Miller with 3, all of those in the first half. Everett, Crawford and Hodge, the ball winners for Hawthorn, while Hall and Richardson each have kicked 3 goals for the Hawks. At ground level, Wayne Schwass. Wayne, 41 points clear. Hawthorn, in your mind, did they start to cruise at that point?
Yeah, look, it's probably a good point that you make. Lance Franklin, as you said, he's first for the game in that third quarter. 41 points up at the 19-minute mark. I think it's more a lack of experience. You've got a number of inexperienced young players in there who have done exceptionally well. They put on 4 quick goals themselves. They get out to a big margin and they think, well, the game is ours. But as we said, we made mention during the course of this match, momentum changes very quickly. And let's not forget, Richmond is still playing with the possibility of making finals football.
And that was a telling point, wasn't it, to see that? Terry Wallace, the hand ruffling the hair of Mark Graham, his final quarter of his career is coming up. Let's check the scores from the SCG and the MCG replays to follow on Fox Footy, so you know the drill. Look away now. At the Telstra Dome, 12 points Hawthorn's lead heading into the final term.
And there was an issue we picked up in the quarter. I've noticed a couple of times. Trent Crowe today, he's leading up and he's often going for that chest mark, Wayne. And often you can take chest marks, but under pressure, particularly when you're on a fast close down backman, you've just got to go out with the outstretched hands. In particular, the value these days is for the umpires paying the top arm free kick.
Live and exclusive on Fox Footy Sunday from the Telstra Dome, a final quarter. With still plenty to play for coming up. We'll get a second go for our digital subscribers. You can go active, take control. No other place can you do that than here on Fox Footy. 107 to 95. Centre takeaway important here. Tuck.
That's not right.
Yeah, Hodge just caressing it to Vandenberg. Now Franklin and Moore. And support for the Tiger provided by Newman. That's a clever kick. Ray Hall, though, on an awkward bounce. The first game at Dawson is slipping himself into a good position. And Miller goes to Franklin. Crawford is running. Franklin turns him down, centres the ball. Lewis a chance. Tuck did well. Delidio's caught. Bowden hacks it clear. Crawford's in the way. Miller for number 4. What a start! Number 4 for Harry Miller.
And that's one of those pockets that Harry Miller has kicked this goal from. Quite a difficult pocket to kick goals from usually, but he hit it in the exact spot that you have to hit it at, and that is at the right-hand goal post, and it swings back straight through the middle of the goal. Shane Crawford getting on the end of a few balls in the forward line. He's actually playing in the back pocket. So it goes to show you how hard he works.
The engine's still running just fine at 30 years of age. For the man who was captain up till last year. So a 3-goal buffer is restored as Clark runs onto it. Vandenberg heard the crowd rise as call closed in. Overrun by Bowden and Crow. Good quick hand pass there by Pettifer to Bowden. Sizing up the options. Richardson the target. Strong hands, but he's too far out to score. Tambling on the break. Richardson in his direction. One, he's got it.
Well, that was just a muck-up down there by a couple of players.
Well, I thought when Richo took this mark and he went back for the ball and I saw Richard Tambling lead and the Hawthorn players surround him, I thought that's the wrong option. Definitely the wrong option, but somehow he got it.
And he gets it. And the margin's back to 2 goals. All smiles for Tambling. It's meant to be the other way, isn't it? The little guy setting up the big fellas.
Well, it's a great job anyway by the Tigers. I think Joel Bowden has been, as we said earlier, their best player. And I think Trent Crowe is almost better off taking him right back onto the goal line. If they're going to continue with him in the forward line, he's not having a great day, so get him right back down there.
It's a good point you make. Crowe with 3 kicks for the day. Bowden, 19 possessions providing the drive for the Tigers. Time to say, Trent, you're a decoy now.
Yeah, I reckon about row 4 of the second level would be about perfect.
Simmons. Here's Lewis of Hawthorn. Awkward bouncing ball.
Good stuff.
They're not done with these Tigers. Hall. Richo on the lead short. He goes longer. Stafford and Simmons are there. Good options.
Well, that's a kick against Spider, I would have thought.
Play on is called as Hodge. Gee whiz, he was trying to pop it up there to let Leckis get clear, but the closing speed of that man was Aaron Davey-like.
Took the words right out of my mouth. If he can have half the defensive pressure that Aaron Davey has for Melbourne, he'll be a valuable part of that forward line, whether he's kicking goals or not.
Good experience between those 2 dinosaurs.
And it's a Tiger free kick. Everett thinks it's his. He will now have to stand the mark. It was the Brontosaurus versus the T-Rex.
For life of me, I still can't work out what the free kick was for, but anyway.
Well, Tuck's going to get the free, so maybe it wasn't the ruckman.
I thought that was a
Shane Tuck there. Accuracy his concern this year. 10 goals, 14. But cometh the hour. He hits the post. It was that close. And that's an awkward one for Dad watching on there. Does he barrack for the son to kick the goal, or
let's think of the water?
The Hawks going to 2 huddles again. One about 25 metres out, the other one in the centre of the ground.
Very good tactic for the Hawks.
It has.
They've moved it fluently to half back here. Vandenberg though under some pressure. Pettifer with a wonderful chase. Leckis working in tight room. somehow got clear.
That's great movement, Hawthorn.
Here's Brennan for Miller. The kick dies. Gee, Bowden, in hindsight, should have marked it. How costly, if at all? Might not be. Numbers for Richmond. Franklin in the way.
Good stuff from Buddy Franklin.
Besieged. Great contest, this. Still going.
Good to see.
Oh, the veterans now. So Wayne Campbell. Delidio. Tambling got a kind bounce. Needs the shepherd. Osborne didn't give up on it. Richardson and Roughhead.
Simmons is alone.
Oh, this should be a Hawthorn mark to Hodge. Oh, but it was a good spoil from Coughlin. Hodge does brilliantly. Now Hay, and the Hawks can clear Crawford.
It's all of a sudden a very quick game again.
It is, and Ray Hall is absolutely on his feet. He's got to hang in there because Spider is doing the running.
Hay delivers well.
Ray Hall's got to get off the ground. He's gone. He's gone.
Lewis long. Graham the spoil. Crow to chance. Tight angle. Makes it a great goal. His second, and it was a beauty.
And it doesn't matter if you're having a bad day or not. If you kick those goals in the last quarter, and it's been a little bit scrappy, you must say, around the half-forward line of Hawthorn. It's been the Richmond pressure, but the class of Trent Crowe really come to the fore there.
That was a great goal, wasn't it?
Knew to go underneath. Couldn't go with any height or the ball would have been smothered.
Did well to climb down from the stands that quickly to kick that goal. And I noticed Ray Hall's pushed deep into the forward pocket. He's gone down there for a breather. And Simmons is back into the ruck.
Their accuracy today has been uncanny for Hawthorn, and it might contribute to them getting the 4 points. Hodge the clearance. Here's Mark Graham, the waning moments of his career. Bowden goes long to the wing. Dawson gives away a free. And he's given it to Hall, and he's paid from the mark. At least he doesn't give away a 50. As Hall delivers to Richardson, beginning to get involved here, Richo.
Tim Clark's gone on to Delidio. He's been there for some time trying to tag.
Was Tambling pushed? No. Everett to Miller. Leckis running with him. Hardigan, the pursuit. Newman working. Miller, relentless. Now Young. Another of the first-year Hawks. To another.
Great kick. Good kick. Set him up. Buddy Franklin was good enough. Held his ground.
At the other end of the ground, Tiger fans felt that Tambling could have been impeded.
No.
And the end result will be Lance Franklin trying to extend Hawthorn's lead to 23 points.
It was a beautiful kick coming into the forward line. It was to the open side of the ground.
His second goal. A pressure kick. And the number 5 pick in last year's national draft delivers.
There he is, Ray Hall. He is spent. Absolutely spent. He's worked hard. He had a great third quarter. I thought he was magnificent for Richmond in that third quarter. But he's out on his feet. They need someone else now to lift and do the similar work rate. Good goal here to Buddy Franklin.
Terrific contest for the more than 30,000 that have turned out to the Dome this afternoon. Can they see one more Richmond fight back, or have the Hawks got enough in reserve? Hodge looking good. Into the forward pocket. Good pick up by Moore. The handball deflected over for a throw-in.
Competed hard more when he's gone on to Buddy Franklin. Buddy's kicked a couple of nice goals in the second half, but I've liked the way Moore's gone about his business. Lots I like about to him. about him in the future.
Simmons for Bowden for Coghlan. Hawks in front. Tambling affects the spoil. Campbell. Here's a breakaway. Hardigan on the run. Tambling, question of accuracy. There's your result. 2 final quarter goals for the 18-year-old out of the Northern Territory keeps Richmond's fate September heart beating.
I wasn't so sure about the kick coming into Tambling off half back. He looked out of sorts. He let the Hawthorn player, as you can see there, get in front, but his recovery was a little bit better. Campbell, the experience of Campbell, that handball being in front. So a lot of those handballs just go behind. Enables young Tambling to get on the end of one. And I was watching him in the warm-up today, Jared, and all of his shots at goal were on the run, and he didn't miss one of them.
He can play. He's a real talent. It's easy to forget. The 18. He's got a long way to go.
Good spot. Nice cap. Slide. Swing out the back.
Helps up his teammate as the clock ticks down.
Marty's going to have a look at an early grab. Marty's going to have a look at an early grab, Joel. Let's not grab each other. Let's not grab each other.
Third man up was Hodge. Lecker's handball stolen by Tambling, having a purple patch. Needed another metre on the kick to Richardson, but a stumbling roughhead has opened the door. Johnson to the hot spot. Osborne, well done.
Terrific game.
Phil,
Scissors, there's some players slip over the boat.
Delidio to Campbell, uses it so well, and again he does. And Jay Schultz, Lazarus-like, can kick the goal to make it an 11-point game.
Wayne Campbell, a couple of very important touches in the last minute or so. And when you're watching play a game like this, you really do have to wonder why he isn't playing on next year to get that magical 300, because some of the touches he's had today have been special.
Been a big move this one, Swatter. Spider Everett off at such a crucial stage.
Get to Wayne in a moment as Jay Schultz lines up. He was all-waxed by Ben Dixon in the first half. We feared for his health. He sits out 2 quarters. He comes back with the team's game and season on the line, and plenty riding on this kick. And it's good. No! It hits the post. It died late. A second poster. Wayne Schwass at ground level. A move of Everett under the bench.
Yeah, they brought Spider Everett off. He's getting his hamstrings worked off. But I remember a game against the West Coast down in Tassie. They left him off for an extended period when Hawthorn were charging late. Now, I'm not saying that cost them, but with the side that does lack experience, you'd expect the big man for Hawthorn to be back on reasonably quickly.
Good mark by Nick Rees. Now a roughhead. They'll effect the switch. Crawford's working hard to the outer side and will be on the end of this kick.
Roughhead up to 18 possessions from centre-half back, playing on Matthew Richardson. It's a pretty good effort.
Charge of the Light Brigade here. Oh! He telegraphed it. Bowden can go deep. Richo's one-on-one. He should get it. And he does.
Now there's a great example of a player that knows what he's doing when he's got the ball. Joel Bowden, Richo didn't lead. Did not lead. Richo started to go back towards goal. I think even he was confused about what was going to happen. And what he did was he knew Richo had led back. He stopped and propped. Bowden just put it to the space where Richo was. As you can see, didn't lead. Roughhead had no chance.
They are wasting some chances here. 16-14, 30 scoring shots to 25.
And once again, young Dawson has a crack at Richo for missing that one.
Yeah. That's like,
I get no respect.
Giving Al Capone a dud check. You know there's going to be payback and it's going to be brutal. Crawford to the wing. Good kick. Young.
Just let them off the hook a couple of times, the Tigers.
Yep.
Been an interesting battle between Joel Smith and Kane Johnson. Kane Johnson's had it 12. Smith's had it 17. An interesting tussle.
Mark Graham, good kick for Simmons. They're running out of chances, the Tigers. Heaps of time to go, but they're not kicking straight down there. Hodge just put his body on the line against a couple of Tigers and he wins out. Taylor to Loney. Loose men at half forward. Pride will take it. Can run on. Will he go for it? Chooses to pass off. And it's strong hands. The mark has been taken. Miller ambitiously tries to steal a goal, but Nick Rees has taken a couple of good marks in the last quarter.
Harry has tried to pickpocket him and run into an open goal there. When he take a mark, I think he thought it was a free kick, because if it's a free kick, you're allowed to get the advantage. But unfortunately, the mark was paid. And if the mark's paid, there's no advantage.
Nick Rees has kicked one goal this year. If he makes it two, the Hawks will have a down payment on victory.
Zach's coming to the bench. Josh Thurgood comes off.
The coach doesn't want him to be poleaxed at the other end.
That's right. No, Zach's got a crook tight right hand. Looks, and
he's got to the phone.
Yeah.
Should be a goal for Rees. Hawks are 21 points cleared. Tough for the Tigers now.
This game has definitely gone in ebbs and flows. Wouldn't quite be riding the Tigers off just yet.
Well, it's about now that I went to bed last night with the Bulldogs up. So do not touch the station.
You'll have to tune into the winners tonight, Jared, to see the highlights of how Melbourne's amazing comeback unfolded. 21 points, 8 minutes 20 to go. That's the contract for the Tigers, if they are to just try and keep it alive for one more week. Yeah, Hodge has been terrific. 23 possessions, 10 of them contested ball one, 7 clearances, chucking a goal. He's done it all. Nate's got on to Hodge at 150 to 1 for the Brownlow midway in the season. He wants a cut if he gets up. Loney to Brennan. Couldn't mark. Graham now. Tuck. Bang. Oh, that's a thumper. Crawford.
No mark. No mark.
That kick had some carry on. It was a taut, well struck. And Campbell was so close to marking it.
It's been close to a free kick as well.
Pettifer wins one. And Pettifer's kicked 2 straight today.
He's got a great lift from Luke Hodge. Second half, he's had 15 possessions. He had just 9 in the first half. And wasn't really firing, even though the Hawks were.
So I've got to pay the $3. Okay? Thanks, mate.
Hawks have not been good in the close games this year. 1-6 in matches decided by 20 points or less. Their win last week, their only close win for the year. If Pettifer kicks this, they might get jittery, but he can't. And you have to say, with goal kicking like this, they don't deserve it.
Well, 16-15, they've had their opportunities to be a lot closer.
Well, they've got Vandenberg's just snuck off the boundary line. That didn't see. He couldn't believe it. It's a great interchange because Vandenberg came on and just walked around a metre inside the line.
Rough head to half forward. Bowden's been good. Handball let him down. He follows it up. Tambling. Clever. Graham. Quick hands. Here's a chance. Free to Richmond. Advantage play on. Long ball to the full forward.
Free kick, Simmons.
Play on.
You've got to play the ball, not the whistle.
Oh, Richo recovers it. Oh, but missed Simmons with the hand pass. Schultz charging through. Oh, and he misses Simmons as well. He'll get another go, though, and he'll kick this one. For process of elimination, someone had to find Troy Simmons with the handball eventually, and it's 14 points the difference.
It's not over yet. I think Troy Simmons might have got a little confused. Matty Richardson here thought he may have been going for the shot at goal. Wasn't expecting the handball. Wasn't great. But, yeah, there are a lot of missed handballs in this passage of play, but eventually kicks the goal, and she's not over.
No, it isn't. A lot of the Hawks defenders went hands on hips. They're all tired. They're out on their feet. They've just got to hang on. And Richmond have just got to keep on keeping on because the game is opening up for them.
14 points. That's a bad bounce. So Tuck. Volleyball spikes it to half forward. Hall feeds it off. Tuck thinks about the handball. Into space. Schultz. Johnson. 2 in a row. Wake up, Jared. This is what happened last night.
I didn't miss that one.
Oh, brother. It's 8 points the difference.
Well, they've got to get the ball out of the centre because their back line is absolutely out on its feet, the Hawks. And they've got to get this out of the centre to give them some relief.
And that was a great handball off the deck. Wasn't it? Was it Pettifer? I think it might have been Pettifer off the deck. Became Johnson the captain.
All of a sudden, it's 8 points.
And there's still a long time to go. 5:56. 20 goal kickers in the match now, 10 each. Tigers get the clearance. Simmons inside 50. Awkward ball to trap. Roughhead does well, but the handball made Loney work. Can he get away from Richo? He can. Awkward bounce for Hay. Hilton runs onto it. To the goal square. Oh, Thurgood. He keeps it in too.
Good effort.
He didn't concede a behind. Oh, the nerve of the young man. Hodge. Oh, out on the full.
Tigers back in with a chance. Delidio's going to pick up the footy. He's the best bloke, I think, to have it because he'll make the right decision.
I know what the right decision is. Richard.
Here he goes. Good spoil, Thurgood. Rees has done some good things in the last term. Miller. No.
Oh, good tap out.
Yeah, it was from Newman. Hardigan on the run from 50. Goal square. Hodge saves the day.
Smart play, Hodge. Under pressure, that was a brilliant.
Clinton, you said before the game that Alistair Clarkson compares Hodge to Glenn Archer in the way he goes about his football. There's been 3 occasions. He's not similar to Glenn Archer in a lot of ways, but there's been 3 occasions that there are a lot of similarities. That was one of them.
The courage and the boldness is Dawson. In game 1, says to his 179-game teammate, get out of the way. Lewis. Touched ball.
Wide legs.
Mark Graham, final moments of his career. Caught. Loney. Unguarded goal square. A behind. If Hawthorn win, they lose the right to a priority pick. If Richmond win, they keep alive the finals hopes.
It'll suit the Tigers that point. They're able to kick it out.
Having said that, it's a slim finals hope at best, but it would keep it alive. Delidio to Simmons.
Go to Richo, just put it in there.
Pettifer to fly. Pettifer to Rowe. And look in the goal square, Joel Bowden was saying, what about me?
We've got Trent Crowe at centre-half forward at one end and Joel Bowden at centre-half forward at the other. Although I don't think that Bowden is playing on Trent Crowe. No, he's not. It's Mark Graham on Crowe, so they've pushed Bowden up into the middle.
Roughhead.
Bowden's coming back to Crowe now.
And Crawford's peeled off and he's going to beat Campbell in the foot race.
Yeah, yes, they've just covered for him.
And now Dawson, the first game of what are your nerves like, young man? Pretty good. Clark. Oh, the ball won't come back to him. Gasper the spoil. Bowden the crumbs. Newman receives. Goes to Tuck. Tigers away. Richo at centre half forward. Was he pushed? Was he pushed? No!
Tough job, Paul.
Vandenberg marks on the wing.
Won't say a word.
Will the ball stay in? No. Throw it in and let's have a look to see whether or not Richo was indeed given a nudge that should have been deserving of a free.
Is that true movement? Is that two movements? That gets paid
worse than how much Richo helped him out. There's certainly a push out.
Okay, maybe Richo over-accentuated the push, but there was two movements, and that's what they're paying free kicks for. Oh, it's a good lesson to Richo.
Here they go.
Don't overcook it.
Newman to the midfield. Hardigan with 3 minutes to go. 7 points down. On the lead, marking. He plays on Stafford. Richo! Richo!
Great hands from Stafford.
He's got 4. Tigers have now kicked 3 in time on of the last quarter to claw their way to within a point.
Oh, young Dawson. Didn't see him anywhere near Richo then.
She's right. Great movement of the footy. Their movement skills have just gone through the roof in this last quarter, the Tigers. Well, since half time at least. And that was just a smart handball there from Greg Stafford to Richo. He aimed at the right goalpost, which is the way to go when you're kicking right foot because it always comes back.
And it's young Dawson putting the pressure on. And there was no comment after that. One went through the big sticks.
Richmond last year beat Hawthorn by a point here. They trail by a point now as Johnson's buried. 2:45 to go. We'll get another bounce.
No chance that's in the back. Just rolling.
So much to play for. 30,906. Like Terry Wallace on the edge of their seats. Lewis is tied up.
Terry Wallace has got Wayne Campbell on the bench. I'd have him on the ground this last 2 minutes.
No question.
Johnson, Delidio. Tigers to get the breakaway. Oh, the kick is smothered. Vandenberg, caught by Johnson. Wonderful tackling. 2 Hawks in there. Vandenberg, rugby-like, trying to pull it through, will get a bounce.
Neither Alistair Clarkson would be the one that would put the flood on here if he wanted to. He hasn't decided to do that.
They've got a pretty tall forward line now, the Tigers.
Vandenberg mown down. Johnson likewise.
That's
it's
terrific,
hot.
Johnson.
Everett, can he break clear? Hodge. Who will win out? Great stuff. Graham in his final kick, perhaps. Lekis on the wing. Hardigan pursuing him. Over the top. Vandenberg. Osborne has been great. Back for Ritchie. Minute 25 to go. Bowden and Clark.
Good pass.
Bowden spoils. Will it go out? Loney on the boundary line. To the goal square.
That's what they needed, the Tigers.
Good result for the Tigers.
It would take a draw out of the equation now. Oh, how's your heart, sir? Graham away, now breaking to space, Ray Hall. He spent a lot of petrol tickets early. He does well here. Look out, though. Hyde, neat sidestep. Delidio goes deep.
Stafford.
Schultz! Stafford! Tigers in front! What a story unfolding as Pettifer goals to keep the faint hope alive.
And it was Brett Delidio with the courage and the conviction to take on the Hawthorn players through the middle of the ground and have the nous to go forward to his taller players. Contest from Schultz up to Stafford. Stafford with the quick hands. Pettifer.
With about a centimetre to spare.
Brett Delidio. That nab might be just about filled with his second half.
Tell you what, Razor Hall He did not have one more metre left in those legs.
Tigers in front for the first time since 7 minutes in the opening term. Hodgson says we're not done with. 35 seconds.
Oh, he's fumbled.
Oh, Lekis, no. Caught by Hartigan. Franklin. Tied up by Graham. Now the umpire's called for a bounce, so the clock will run a few seconds. Even if there was a boundary throw in, the clock would have stopped.
Hodge had the big left foot.
Hawk. Franklin caught. Holding the ball.
Let it go. Let it go.
And the Tigers are going to end a 5-game losing run. And farewell Mark Graham with a stunning come from behind win. What a way to bow out. That's why we play the games.
No question about that. You love to play in those types of games when the scores are so close, and to get a victory in those sort of circumstances. Mark Graham, Wayne Campbell, the last time in front of his home crowd here. Great stuff for those two, but more importantly for the Tigers, what a great way to end. You said before, Clint, and also Jared, mathematically they're still in the race.
Yep, that's all it counts now. They can go into tomorrow's rehab, etc., knowing they've still got a 15th of a chance to get there.
I think it means that a few sides have to lose next week, and they have to win by about 20 goals, but there's still a chance to make the finals.
But that was just great reward for effort. It was really a victory that they brought. They just jumped out of the ground and snatched it, didn't they? Hawthorn always looked as if they had enough legs, enough run, and yet in the end their defence, I think, just lost their run.
And any supporters who bring up Talkback Radio and say that clubs play for draft picks, watch this game, and that's a perfect example of how clubs treat these types of games.
Just sensational scenes for the Tigers. Hawk fans disappointed in defeat. Mark Graham, a pat on the back from Terry Wallace, a hug as well. Angelo Lekis, another of his former teammates down there. Richmond kicked 4 goals in time on of the last quarter to pinch it. They were 41 down, time on of the third quarter. That's the sort of stuff which you can build the platform for going ahead. Straight down to the field, Wayne Schwass with the man of the hour.
Well, the man of the hour, cometh the man, cometh the hour. Mark, you look down and out. Hawthorn had all the momentum. Something special on a very important day for you yourself.
Yeah, just the way the boys had a crack in that last quarter. Player put it to him, and he said, for God's sake, have a crack. If not for yourself, but I know you can't play for individuals, but he said, he mentioned my name, and the boys ripped in, and to finish your career, I suppose, playing against your old clubs on the games, and to be taken in with the Richmond faithful, and they are the Richmond faithful. It's just fantastic. I can't tell you how it feels. It's just fantastic.
Well, we certainly get a bit of an indication. As you said, you played a lot of football, 95% of your football with Hawthorn, but there's a lot of feeling with this Richmond side you played the majority of this year with.
Yeah, it's been a pretty long, tough year. Klaus certainly gave it to us over summer and worked us pretty hard, and a couple of younger guys probably getting a little bit tired, but we've doubled our wins from last year. It's fantastic. So hopefully they're going to plant a seed for next year and the years beyond.
Mark, it started way back in 1993, 243 AFL games of football. On behalf of everybody at Fox Footy Channel and the Footballing Public, thank you and congratulations. All the best for the future.
Thanks, Shirley. Thanks, guys, and thanks.
Well done to Mark Graham. If you can't bow out in a finals victory, is there a better way to go than this? And the Hawk players, what a sign of respect that is. All class from the Hawthorn 22 to acknowledge a former clubman, and he grabs son Thomas, and well, he'll be grabbed himself. It takes a couple of tough Tigers and Pettifer even putting Thomas on his back. Scenes that will stay with Mark Graham forever. Said he had Cousins coming out of the woodwork this week. Had to find 70 tickets for the match today, but he's glad he found them right now, and he will enjoy this, and let's hope it'll stay with him forever.
I heard he had so many ringing in that Billy Graham actually went through.
70 tickets. That is a great sign of respect by the Hawthorn players.
Yeah.
And look, a lot of people were critical of Mark Graham, saying once there was of the opinion that he shouldn't be playing at Hawthorn any longer, a lot of people were critical and said that, you know, he should hang them up. All credit to him to go to the Tigers and finish off on his own terms, and what a great mark of respect from both clubs.
Outstanding victory by the Tigers. It's going to do the Hawks the world of good next season, this result. It's going to hurt like hell right now. They're jogging off as a group. And they'll take plenty out of it, but they'll take a hell of a lot of hurt and pain.
Here's the reaction. Look at that. Tell me Terry Wallace isn't excited by what's happened. That's when the siren sounded. The 5-game losing run has ended. They've still got to rely on Brisbane losing, Bulldogs losing, Melbourne losing, and Port Adelaide losing next week, and they've got to thump Geelong. But hey, where there's life, there's hope. It's round 22, and you're alive. And that was a long way gone last year. We're going to leave most of our viewers at the end of the song. For our digital subscribers, press red, stay with us. All the reaction coming up after the Tigers sing the song. A come from behind win, and it was a beauty.